no good. Would it be mine? Could it be mine? You don't want me to be your neighbor. All right, so I'm trying out a different thing right now. I got my son's. How come that looks backwards? That looks backwards. Let's see. Trying out a different live stream setup. I got my son's webcam, and I'm going to try figure out this live streaming. So, see if anybody shows up. Talk about my day to day, and anything else anybody else wants to talk about. That was my wife playing the piano. Let's see if anybody shows up. Oh, it looks normal. It looks okay here. I went over to my page and it looks crooked, but on the other page it looks normal. See, there's like a delay, so we'll see. We'll see who shows up. I don't know if I need earbuds in or not. See, my wife was playing the piano. Let's get up. This is one of the most favorite songs my wife's ever played for me. Let's see, this is the second part. The dog's part of it. That's it right there. So that's the first song my wife ever played for me on piano. Let's go live on Instagram here too, in case anybody wants to know. La 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 la. I said I was to do one on Sunday. So here I am. I'm all set up to do a live stream here. I'm on YouTube. So I come over here on Instagram, and I'm multitasking. I'm going to try to do another. I got my son's webcam right there. I'm just goofing around today. I'm trying to learn how to do this live streaming. That's my view, and then I go on my YouTube, and that's what it looks like on YouTube. So in case anybody wants to show up on YouTube, IC Got the Truth there. Not IC Got the Truth, Arizona. IC Got the Truth, that's my YouTube channel name. Go check me out, hang out. I'm still trying to relearn how to do this stuff. I got the buddy, he just joined, he's over there. Jerry's over there. So, I'll leave it going for a little bit because I'm still trying to figure out how to do this live streaming here using my computer. Last two live streams I did with my cell phone. So go check me out. Man, it was a hot day today, man. I think it got up to be about like 105 or something like that. I got all these electrical wires here. Got the microphone. Hold on a second. Test 1 2 1 2. Let's see if we can hear me. Test 1 2 1 2. Yeah, that's working. So the microphone is working. So we'll see if somebody shows up, if everything is working correctly. This is like a test run. Oh, let me see. Hello, everyone. Let me put that down there. And I don't know how to do. Can you invite people? Where would I go to invite somebody? It's just nothing like what it used to be. What is this button do over here? Manage. I don't see a button. Top chat. Probably would have helped if I just went watched the video how to do live streaming, because I completely forgot how to do live streaming. There's no button here on how to share your page or anything like that. So, it says share down here at the bottom. Let me see. Okay, that's how you mute. What does that say? Share. Oh, what a crazy thing. Share to email. Oh, okay. So this is how I can send a link to somebody if somebody wants to join me. Cool. Got it. Okay, let me, oops. Copy video link. Okay. Let me just try to link copy to clipboard. And let me just send out a test email, see if this works. See, paste. Okay. Well, let's see if he shows up. I'll send him one, and we'll see if he shows up. And then we'll know if we're doing it right or not. I'm reading an email from Just Mike, and he forgot my address. Okay. Let me send him a quick email. I don't even remember my address. Future daughter-in-law. That's funny. There you go, just Mike. I just sent you an email. So, actually, two. So that's how I would be able to see. Hello, Colin, basement. Colin, can you hear me? This is the first time I'm trying to live streaming like this, so I don't know if I got everything hooked up right. If you can hear me, Colin, let me give me like 5-5. Put that in the comment there if you can hear me. Because I have no idea. Yeah, he says you can hear me. Cool. Where are you from, Colin? You popped my cherry, Colin. You're my first visitor to a live streaming where I'm using it. Cool. What's up, Colin? Where are you from, man? And how'd you hear about this live stream? Were you just like surfing YouTube and you just like, let me see what this guy's doing over here? I'm just goofing around right now, trying to figure out how to do this live streaming. Years ago, I used to live stream all the time. It was so easy to do. But now it's completely different. So I'm like trying to relearn all this stuff, man. You're in Tucson, really? Wow. What side of Tucson you in? First of all, let's see. I can't even click on anything here. Let me see. Let me go to your channel. See if you do anything over there. You like to fish. Okay. Yeah, I can open up your channel there. All right, cool. So let me show that I'm on your channel here. There's like a delay on the camera. Colin Bassman. That's a nice looking little car you got there. Oh no, that's a car show. Okay. So, I'm trying to figure out how to use this webcam. Eastside, the pic you have on here look like Silver Bell. Yeah. Oh, is that the picture you guys are seeing? I have no idea what pictures there for people to see. Yeah, that is Silver Bell Lake. I was there. I was there yesterday filming some hawks, and somebody told me the name of the hawks, but now I've completely forgot what the name of those hawks are. But man, I don't know how to screen share on this thing, man. It says click the share button. It just lets me share a link. It doesn't let me share my page or anything. Oh, that's weird, man. So I sent the link to a friend of mine, so we'll see if he shows up. We'll see. I have no idea. I don't even know if he knows I'm going to be live streaming. Yeah, I was at the Silver Bell Lake for a while yesterday filming these hawks. I have no idea what the name of these hawks are. Let me see, figure out how to show some pictures of these hawks. So, because I don't know how to screen share, I'm going to go to my Facebook, and then right there, these hawks right here. And now I need to open up YouTube on my phone so I can see without having to click over what I'm showing, because I have no idea what I'm actually showing. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. No, that's not it. All right, close. Anyways, hold on, let me look really quick. Yeah, gotta put the camera right. These are the hawks that I videotaped and took pictures of. I have nowhere to clip this camera, so I'm trying to figure out how to use this camera. Right there. Beautiful bird, man. A beautiful bird. Cool. Alright, well, let me put this back down here. I don't know how to attach this. Crazy. So you do a lot of fishing. Harris hawk, maybe. Okay, yeah. Somebody told me it was a Harris hawk. I remember that now. Reason why I don't know, I'm colorblind, Colin. So I don't know what kind of hawk it is. People have to tell me these things, and then I know. So nice photos. Thank you very much. Joanne is here. All right, cool. So I'm looking at your YouTube channel, Colin, and you had a magpie. You had a magpie in your yard? I thought they were only in freaking Australia. Hello, Joanne. I thought the magpies were only in Australia. Yes, fishing a lot and love to travel in nature. So, when you had that magpie, are you down in Australia? Somebody's blowing up my Facebook. Mick. Oh, okay. Mick is the guy I went hiking today with. Spent about 5.5 hours out in the desert today, man, hiking with a new hiking buddy of mine named Mick. Yeah, you got some big fish there, man. Yeah, really cool. Okay, let's see. Joanne, do you have a YouTube channel? Let me go see. In your yard in Tucson? Where's my wife? Babe, this guy has a magpie in his yard. Look at this guy right here. Look. I thought they were only birds from Australia. That's cool, huh? I'm watching the video, Colin. I thought they were only from Australia. Joanne says, no, not yet. You don't have a, let me go to your channel, see. I'm opening up your channel. Oh, okay. I'm a loving daughter of a 91-year-old young mom, a kind person who loves to what? Loves to learn about other people, places, and things. We live in my grandparents' cottage built in the 20s. Neat hip replaced on crutches and darn tired of it. Are you on crutches or your grandparents on crutches? Where are you from, Joanne? I know there's a delay here, so I'll ask a question and I'll wait a little bit. This thing right here was made from a friend of mine in Australia, or a fellow YouTuber. Not anymore. Catskills, New York. Have I talked to you before, Joanne? Oh yeah. I remember who you are, Joanne. I remember now. Yeah, the crutches thing. That just jogged my memory. Yes, I remember. I don't know. Are you guys picking up that air conditioning noise behind me? I don't know what you guys can and can't hear. What's the biggest fish you ever caught, Colin? I'm looking at a picture that looks like you're over there at Kennedy Lake. Is that right? Do you fish a lot at Kennedy Lake? Not hearing any air conditioning. Okay, cool, because I'm not going to turn it off if you could. It's 105 outside right now here where I live. It is freaking hot outside. I hiked all day with another hiker, adventurer, guy who's new in Tucson. He's actually from the UK, and he used to live in California, and he's recently moved here to Tucson. So we met via social webs, and him and I clicked like we've known each other for a long time. So this is the third time I've gone hiking with him today. His name is Mitch. I have pictures of him because he's a shy guy. He doesn't want to show himself on the interwebs, and I can understand that. 200-pound mako shark from San Diego. Fish all over Patagonia a lot. Oh, that's cool, man. I don't fish because I'm allergic to seafood. So I don't eat any type of fish except for once in a while I'll eat tuna, but then even tuna will make me break out also. So I went out hiking with this guy today. His name is Mick. He just hit me up on Facebook. We met at 9 o'clock. He had no clue what we were going to do. He thought we were going to go look at some petroglyphs, and that's all he thought we were going to do. And I showed him 10 different crested-saguaros, one golden saguaro, and man, we must have seen about 50 petroglyphs today. I mean, we found so much new stuff today, and then I found a couple of new mortars that I've never seen before. If you don't know what a mortar is, just Google hole comes, and you'll see. My camera kept shutting off because of the heat. His phone was messing up because of the heat, and man, I got really dark today. You want to come sometime? Hello, Wendy. Wendy. You know, Wendy, we were at I took Mick, this new guy that I've been hiking with now. I took Mick over to the Red Rock petroglyphs today. I showed him the golden saguaro this morning, and I took him to 10 different crested saguaros. I blew his mind today. It's probably about 105 degrees today. I mean, for 5 hours. I didn't get home till 3 o'clock. So for 5 hours, we were out there. We went to the Red Rock. where the red rock petroglyphs are. Then I took them to Kings Canyon. We found a bunch of new petroglyphs in Kings Canyon. Then I took them down another wash. I don't remember the name of that wash, and showed him some secret petroglyphs. And I blew his mind with Crestedsaguaros today. So that was my day today. Yesterday, I went to Silver Bell Lake and took a bunch of pictures and videos of these, I like call it Harris hawks. And I spent about an hour there at the lake just watching these Harris hawks. Now, if you want to know what I'm talking about, you can go to my Facebook, Marco Elite, my Facebook, or go on my Instagram. I see got the Truth Arizona, and I got pictures and videos of these hawks. I mean, they're freaking, man, they're beautiful, man. I just love filming the wildlife, filming birds and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not much of a fisherman. I just love filming the wildlife, filming birds and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not much of a fisherman, Colin. Just because I just don't eat fish. I don't know. I don't have the patience to sit still and wait for something to bite on the hook. I'm more of a bust through the the brush and try to see what I can find. Madera Canyon is a great spot for birds too. Yeah, I know a lot of places here in Tucson. We got the Sweetwater Wetlands Preserves. There's a bike path between Cortero and Ina where I have seen cranes, owls. I saw an eagle there one time. I always run into rattlesnakes on that bike path. Coyotes, javelina on the bike path right next to the park. It's just a sport. You just fish and then catch and release it. I can understand that, man. I got friends that fish. And I've hung out with them. I didn't do the fishing. I just hung out with them and chit chatted with them and stuff like that. Or tried to chit chat because every time I tried to talk, shush, shush, shush. You're scaring the fish away. See, that's the problem I have. I like to talk, so it's more about being outdoors. Oh yeah, I love being outdoors. I don't watch television, and I was trying to look at the videos I made today, but because my camera kept shutting off, the videos didn't really come out too good. It's too hot, man. Too hot for making videos. But I took a ton of pictures of the petroglyphs. I made some videos on my cell phone with the petroglyphs. I'll be posting those on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, time to follow me now because that's where I post all the cool stuff, man. You like to fish in the creek, it's very calming. Yeah, I understand it. It's like an ASMR type thing for some people. You have a picture of a golden eagle from Apache Lake also. I've never seen a golden eagle. But I got pictures and videos of a cara Mexican eagle. It's actually a falcon, but they call it a Mexican eagle. It's actually a falcon, but they call it a Mexican eagle. I got pictures of a mother and a father and 3 babies. I got pictures of this Harris hawk. I got pictures of another hawk with babies, red-tailed hawk. I think that's what somebody told me. And I just love I love outdoors, man. I love catching nature. Anything that has to do with nature, you're gonna find me there. Like I said, I've gone fishing, but it's not really for me. But I get it and I understand why people do it. I just posted a huge Crestedsaguaros on Facebook, and people want to know where it is. Gotta tell them it's private. I can't give a location out on this one. It's promise not to give out the address where that one is. Sometimes people get angry, but I'll tell anybody if it's out in public where they're at. But if it's in somebody's yard, unless I got the okay from somebody to do it, then I won't give out that location. So So Mick is posting a lot of the stuff he saw today. A 10, yes, 10 crested saguaro sightings today, all are close to Saguaro National Park with Marco Lee. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, he had a personal tour today with me. On my way to Sabino right now to look for reptiles. Have a good day. All right, Colin, hey, you have a good day, man. Stay safe, man. Stay away from the rattlesnakes. It was nice talking to you. Nice meeting you. So this is just a test live streaming because I'm definitely gonna have to figure out how to share pages because it's not showing me here how to do it here. I'm gonna have to watch a video how to do this live streaming to where I could show people like the petroglyphs that I saw today. I guess you're just gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Anybody else got any questions? Anybody else want to talk about anything? This is just all a test run for me. Oh, man, it was so freaking hot today. I have to give props to Mitch, the guy I was hiking with. He's older than me. He's 63. I'm 59, and he didn't miss one step hiking with me, man. And I'm a mover, man. And we went up cliffs. We were in Kings Canyon. We were up on the cliff, and there's probably you could probably get about a 12-inch span. It tapers down to like an 8-inch width up on these cliffs, about 20 feet up in the air. And man, you don't want to slip and fall off that stuff. And we were catching some nice pictures of some new petroglyphs I have never seen. I've been there over a dozen times easily to this canyon where these megapixels petroglyphs are, and I've never one time ever seen half of the petroglyphs that we found today. So I wish Mick was here so you can ask him if his mind got blown, because it blew my mind of stuff we found today. I went to those secret petroglyphs yesterday afternoon. It was hot. Yeah, I saw your guys' your Instagram reels. Yeah, you know what I did yesterday, Wendy? Your sister posted a reel on Instagram of a sunset, right? And I thought it was another area because I saw a bunch of saguaros. She was walking through these saguaros, and I saw a bunch of saguaros that I want to get pictures of. So I thought it was that area by a church, and she said, "No, it's not that area. It's her secret place, right?" So don't tell me that because I'll find it, right? So I got on Google Earth and I started looking around because some of the hints that she's given me over the years is, I said, okay, I kind of got a general area where she lives, and she said it wasn't far from her house and far from the crested saguaro I posted. So I got on Google Earth and I started looking for this sunset spot with the chair, and I found it, and then I saw what street it was near, and I marked it on my list, go to this street and then figure out how to get up to this chair. So then when I sent her a message, hey, I know this street, you live on this street, right? Because I'm going there, right? And then she said no, but I went there anyways, and I found that chair. I went up to the chair, I took some pictures, I spent an hour there, I drew a huge Batman on the ground, and then I outlined it with rocks, and then I made a reel from that spot, and I sent it to her. Now I'm not stalking or anything. I wanted to get pictures of the saguaros that in that area. There's so many saguaros that are the peace sign saguaros or the split saguaros or the tuning fork saguaros. I call them different times. In that little area, I must have got 10 different photos of these saguaros. There is a chair there. Yeah, there's a chair there, and there's a giant Batman logo made of rocks there also. I got that picture reel on my Instagram if you want to go see it. And I said it to your sister. You know what she sent me back? I'm in like a meeting or something. You guys were sitting somewhere at the Desert Museum, and yeah, I didn't understand that video she sent me back. So
That's what I did yesterday. After I went and saw the Hawks, I went over there and made that Batman on the ground just behind the chair. And then from there, I went to another place and did a hike in the Squirrel Park, in the Monument West. My new friend Mick, he likes getting pictures of. So, and what they were is these property marker things that are in the middle of the desert, in the middle of no place. And I found two of them in a different spot I never hiked before. And I took pictures of them and I sent it to him. Yeah, she told me you were at the Desert Museum. You guys saw the Crestedsaguaros there. Man, I forgot to go show Mick because we were there. We were Kings Canyon. We were right there. And I forgot to show him that Crestedsaguaro because I took him out and I showed him 10 different types of Crestedsaguaros today and a golden saguaro. So, yeah, he blew his mind today, man. He hung with me, man. 63-year-old guy, huffing and puffing up these trails. Yeah, man, I had a blast. He's posting all kinds of pictures of the petroglyphs that we went and saw today. Man, we saw, and I'm learning a lot about petroglyphs from him. What's up, John? It says J-Moo. John, what's up, John? Okay, I recognize the picture now. Sounds like you two had a great day. Way to go. Yeah, you guys always say you want to go hiking, but you guys are always going out at night. Wendy, is he on IG? Yeah, he's on IG. He's on IG. Hold on a minute. Let me get his name. Let me see what he goes by on IG. Holy crap! Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can post a link to his Instagram. I didn't even ask him if he would mind if I told people about his IG. I don't even know if it's private. Well, hold on. So, yeah, he's on IG. Let me talk to him, and next time I see him, I'll talk to him and ask if he minds if I share his social media. Because yeah, I don't want to put his social media without asking him. But he's on IG. Caregiving duties away. Good to hear you. Okay, Joanne. You know, if you're gonna take off, thanks for showing up. Yeah, yeah. I should have asked. I told him I was gonna live stream today, and I should have asked him then if he minds if I, because he doesn't want to be on camera. When every time when I turn the camera on, I start filming. He gets behind me really quick. So he doesn't want. He has no interest in being famous or known through social media. Oh, are you taking off, Wendy? Well, thanks for showing up, Wendy. I don't know if that bat logo is still there that I made of rocks because I only went there one time. I probably never go back there again. But that spot with the chair, it definitely is a good spot to go sit and take sunset photos. But I don't really do sunset photos because, if you've been following me for a while, you guys know I'm colorblind. So there's no need for me to go watch sunsets. Because it doesn't look like a sunset to me like it does for other people. John Moo, man, what's going on with you in your life right now, brother? Where are you at right now? Salam and Malam. Are you on the East Coast? Or my wife was actually talking about you yesterday. Because I mentioned you yesterday. Jasmine Zaman. Hello, Beth. How are you and the family? We are all doing good, man. How's the weather down there, down under, man? What's the weather like today down there? Because it was freaking hot here, man. 105 degrees right now outside of my house. It probably was hotter than that when me and this other guy, Nick, was hiking. I think my back of my ears or something for today. Cold and windy. Hey, did you go check out that other Australian's YouTuber channel, Jail Builder, and tell him I sent you over there? One of these days, I'm going to go to Australia. One of these days. Anybody got any topics they want to talk about? Anybody, anything? Because I'm basically just trying to do this, practice this live streaming. You're in Ohio at the moment, trucking along. Oh, okay. You're a truck driver now? How's, forgive me, John, I don't remember your girlfriend's name. I'm really bad with names. Faces I don't forget. Last time I talked to you, you were a pest control guy, right? Christina, yeah. How's Christina doing? I was talking to my wife about you yesterday, and she asked me, "Oh, is that the guy that's dating the Indonesian girl?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." She's like, "Oh, he still follows you on Instagram and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, he follows me on Facebook. I don't know if he follows me on Instagram, but I know he follows me on Facebook, and apparently he followed me on YouTube." Thank you very much, John. How come you have J Moo there? Could have swore your name was John. You know, the other day when you made that comment in Indonesian, man, I cracked up laughing. And my wife said, "What are you laughing about?" And that's how we got to talk about you yesterday. And I told her, I said, he's commenting in Indonesian. And she's like, "Oh, okay." I said, "I'm going to respond back in Indonesian and see what he says." I got my little Mandalorian there, joining the club. Yeah, pest control. I've been trucking for now a year. I used to drive 18-wheeler, man, back in the 80s. So I've been coast to coast more than a dozen times. I didn't care for it. You're never home. It wasn't for me. I think that Mandalorian's too close. Let me pull the camera back. What's in door number 2? You know the first thing I learned in Indonesian when I lived in Indonesia? My kids were very tiny, and they used to watch SpongeBob all the time. And I learned how to count in Indonesian from watching SpongeBob. And then they had a show there. It was kind of like a ripoff from Let's Make a Deal. And they would have these doors on stage, and they would in Indonesia they would ask, "You want to pick door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? You want to pick what's behind the door?" And it would say "Satu number 1," you know, or door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3, but they would say it in Indonesian, and it's so repetitive that it's so repetitive that you pick it up really quick. Greeting, fellow explorers. Hello, KM. Welcome. Welcome to the show. I'm doing a webcam live stream now because I took my son's webcam because he's not home. My wife went in the room and took it off his computer, so I'm trying to learn how to do this. But I don't know how to screen share, so I can show you guys what I found today. I don't know how to do it. On my end, it looks so crystal clear, but when I open up YouTube, it looks kind of blurry. So I don't know. Is it blurry for everybody else? That's how I first discovered your channel way back, your Indonesian videos. Yeah, you know, when I lived in Indonesia, all my videos were Indonesian videos. It was a channel called Life in Indonesia, but then when we moved back to the States, I could not sign into that channel, that YouTube channel. And I had so many freaking subscribers, man. That was my very, very first YouTube channel ever, man. I think it was called Life in Indonesia or My Life in Indonesia. You can't find it now; it's gone. But it was just every day I would upload videos of things I saw in Indonesia, and man, that channel it just blew up. People love seeing from a Bule's point of view, you know, what's it like being in Indonesia. And this was 2006. I started 2005 into 2000, November 27, 2005, and did it for 3 years, 3.5 years that we lived in Indonesia. So I'm trying to make that thing so it doesn't look blurry. I don't know if it's blurry to you guys. I don't know. On my end, it's crystal clear, but I opened up a YouTube window. It looks a little bit blurry. I don't know. But I had sent a friend of mine a link. I shared the link to the live stream, the one that I'm on my computer. And if they click that link, they can actually join me. And I'm waiting to see if we got the email, so I can test it out to see if that works. To see if that's how you have somebody join you in the live stream. This is all new to me. I'm learning how to redo all this stuff. But yeah. So what was your experience like, John, when you went to Indonesia? Did you like it? I remember that's the last time that I was communicating with you, and then I don't know, you went rogue. You went off cue. Last time I heard, you were in Indonesia with your new girlfriend. What was your experience there? Did you like it? Man, I tell you what, it's humid, really bad over there, right? Rains all the time. Crazy. It's like living on another world. Satu, dua, tiga. Let me see if I can remember how to count to 10. Let me see. Satu, dua, tiga, empat, lima, enam, tujuh, sembilan, something, and then sepuluh. That's all I remember. My Indonesian is really, really bad right now. I can still understand it though when my wife's talking with her family. I'll pick up little bits here and there. So I was out in the desert for 5.5 hours, blistering heat, giving a personalized tour to a 63-year-old guy who was able to keep up with me. So I post on Facebook too. A lot of people ask me questions on Facebook about the pictures I posted over there. Since I really enjoyed my stay, the people are very friendly. I didn't mind the humidity that much, but it does get hot. Yeah, it's muggy is what it is. It doesn't get hot like Arizona hot, but it gets hot like Florida hot. But it's like the humidity in Indonesia compared to Florida is like it's 100 times worse than Florida. Now, I used to live in Ohio, John. I used to live in Mansfield, Ohio, for about 3 months. My sister lived there for several years, and she asked, why don't you come to Ohio? So I have some family here, and I went up there, and it was winter time, and every day I went out to go somewhere in my car, put my car in the ditch. And after 3 months of doing that, I just said, you know what, I'm done. I can't live in this weather. It's already overcast every freaking day, no sun. I'm a sun lover, so I left, man. I went back to California. It's like walking through bathwater, right? And it's like a waste of time even taking a shower in Indonesia, because as soon as you're done with the shower, the freaking bucket shower where you dump cold water because there's no hot water heater, you're sweating 2 minutes after you're done with the shower. I mean, it's crazy, man. When we had a water heater, you're sweating 2 minutes after you're done with the shower. I mean, it's crazy, man. When we had air conditioning in my house. I built a custom house in Indonesia, and I had an air conditioning system in every room. And even with all 5, because I had 5 rooms in the house, all had air conditioning. Even when I got out of the shower, and I had a hot water heater in my house. When I got out of the shower, I was sweating in my house. It was crazy, man. I had to carry spare t-shirt with me everywhere I went because I was just drenched with sweat all the time. And the Indonesian people, they don't sweat. And it's like, how are you walking around with a dry shirt, man? You guys don't have sweat glands? What's going on here, man? What's going on, brother? And I was just pouring sweat everywhere, man. It's crazy. I mean, I love it there. I love living in Indonesia. But I told my wife one place that I would move in a heartbeat would be Singapore. I love Singapore more than Indonesia. And the reason why I love Singapore, I must have been there 25 different times. I've been to Singapore, a couple times to the Philippines. But every time I go to Singapore, I love it because everybody speaks English. Orlando, Florida, more than anything, because there's so many tourists there and everybody's speaking English. So it's like I'm walking around downtown Disney World in Singapore, and it's one of the cleanest cities in the world. Because you get fined for everything in Singapore. You can't chew gum. And I was on the subway one time, waiting for the subway, and I was filming. I was making videos for my YouTube channel, and the subway stopped, and the police in Singapore saw me filming. They came walking towards me, yelling, and I was like, I don't know who they're yelling at. And I got on the subway, and they took off, and they're like trying to chase the subway. And then as I was standing there watching them run after the subway, there was a foreigner guy there, and he's like, yeah, you're not supposed to be filming here, and that's what they're yelling at you. He spoke Singaporean, and he's like, yeah, they were telling you to put the camera away. I was like, oh, I didn't know that, man. He goes, yeah, they probably would have took the camera. If they would have caught you, they would have took the camera away and then fined you, give you a fine. And I was like, oh, that's good to know. Nobody ever told me this, man. They said, John would say the only part of my visit to Indonesia that I didn't like was Singapore. Singapore is really clean, but the people have no manners. They come off as rude to me. Yeah, they're not rude. That's how Asian people act, man. You got to be with Asian people more. I worked with when I lived here in Tucson when I was about 18. I had a job at a Chinese grocery store, and the way that guy talked to me every day, I thought he was yelling at me every day. No, that's just the way the guy talks. After working with him for 3 years, me and him are very, very good friends to this day. That's just how Asian people are, man. They come off like rude, but they're not really rude. They're forward. They're just in your face. And they like to say la a lot. Like, don't look at the magazine, la. So, you can't get angry when you go to a foreign country, and that's how everybody there, not just one person. You can't single out one person. Everybody there acts like that, speaks like that. Yeah, they say la after everything. Like, I'm going to go eat, la, which I have no idea what it means. It's a slang. I don't know what it means. My favorite t-shirt that I own is from Singapore. It says Singapore on the front, and on the back it's got all the stuff you can't do. It's got the circle with the line through it. You can't jaywalk. You can't chew gum. You can't film or take pictures. But hey, it's a beautiful city, man. Beautiful. And you can get anywhere. You don't even have to have a car. You just take a subway anywhere, man. It's so clean and so nice to get around. And not only that, it's 30-minute flight to Jakarta. So if I was living in Singapore, my wife could go back and forth to Jakarta as many times as she wants. Because maybe it's like how Canadians say, hey, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've never been to Canada. But I have had a couple of Canadian friends that say hey all the time. From Quebec, actually. I just went and looked at the temperature. It's still 105 degrees outside. It's from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock here in Tucson. That's the hottest part of the day. People think that noon is hot. No. The hottest part of the day is when the sun starts to set. 3, it starts going down. 4, 5, 6 o'clock, it comes shining through the freaking living room window and just heats up the house. And once the sun sets, then it gets nice and cool in the house here in Tucson. So, anybody got any questions or comments or any subjects they want to talk about? My ears definitely got burned. They feel like they're overheating right now. Yeah, so if you want to see what I did today, I'm going to post pictures and short video clips tomorrow on Instagram. But I took this guy Mick out hiking to show him some cool stuff, and we ended up finding stuff that I've never seen before in the desert. And man, that stuff just blows my mind because it's like, wow, I didn't know this stuff was out here. And I've been hiking out in this area for 10 plus years, man. And it just blows my mind that I go somewhere for so long and I'm finding new stuff now. So the other day, last week, I think it was Saturday. No, it was Friday. Last Friday, I went hiking with Mick, and I went took him to another new area, and we found a ton of stuff over there too that I've never found before. And we actually found some Indian ruins in, man, almost in mint condition. I've never seen Indian ruin building that well built and still put together. And if you know anything about my YouTube channel, I talk about the Hohokam Indians a lot, and they're supposed to have disappeared some 2,000 years ago. And for these ruins to still be standing like it was just made yesterday, it just was blowing my mind. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, head over to my Instagram. I see Got the Truth Arizona, all one word, and you'll see pictures and videos of these ruins that I'm talking about that I posted yesterday. It blew my mind. The stuff that we found Friday. It's crazy the things I find out in the desert. So what's your plans, John, about you and your girlfriend? Are you guys getting serious? Are you guys going to get married in the future? Are you going to go to Indonesia again? Is she going to come back here? Is she going to come to the States? What's your guys' plan? Anything? Anything you want to share? Maybe you don't want to share. Maybe you do want to share. Her visa interview is July 11th. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was talking with Mitch, and he's from the UK, and he has a green card. He was telling me a story about going to Mexico and coming back, and man, they gave him such a big runaround because he has a green card. My wife has a green card. She doesn't. She has a green card and passport. She's not an American citizen. She's still an Indonesian citizen. My brother's wife is Indonesian, and when we went there, he said it's so hot, and when they visit relatives, they only offer tap water, which was hot. It drove him crazy. I don't know, man. I heard it's pretty hot in Australia, man. Maybe they didn't like your brother. Nah, Indonesian people are very loving people. They're very, very loving people. Beautiful people. Indonesian people. I don't think you should drink the tap water in Indonesia. Yeah, no, I never did. Nope. I didn't even drink the water that my wife's brother in his house. He had this big glass jar, and in this big glass jar, it had something that looked like moss, then some lava rocks, and then some sand, and then some moss and lava rocks, and then sand and lava rocks, and then the water came out the bottom. And like, here, drink that. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I'm not. I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna buy a bottle of water, and that's all I drink. Or I drank the iced tea there called teh, a fish tank. Oh, it wasn't a fish tank. It looked like a gigantic iced tea jug. You know, like when you make sun tea, but this was like a 10-gallon jar, and it had a spout at the bottom where you push the button, the water comes out. But no, I didn't drink. No, I didn't drink that either, man. And I had my own private chef, my own private cook when I lived there. Her name was Yati, and I would show her how to cook my food because the way she would cook it Indonesian style. And I was like, no, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that stuff, man. You got to use bottled water. Don't be getting water out of the sink and trying to feed this stuff to me. Right? My sister sent me a reel here. Because I'm not going to drink that, man. Hold on. I'm going to tell my sister, see if she'll join me. See if she'll join me. She's up in White Mountains. Yeah, I didn't. It's like Mexico. You don't drink the water when you go to Mexico. You know, I mean, you can, but you're going to get diarrhea, man. You're going to get the Hershey squirts. Big time. If you don't know what Hershey squirts is, that's diarrhea. It's just a nicer way to say it. So it says here, let me see how many people are watching. I have no idea. It says 6 people. Well, it just dropped to 4. We're watching and listening. If anybody, hey, say hello, man. All the people who are watching and listening, say hello. his wife used to bring furniture to Australia, and it's so heavy. And he said, "You were right. You are right. Always talking to her family all night." Yeah, but I don't know what the time zone is in Australia and Indonesia, but here where I'm at in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, I think it's like a 12-hour difference. When it's night here, it's morning there. So my wife, she'll go to sleep at 7 and she'll get up at 11, and then from 11 she'll talk to her family for a couple of hours, because it's morning over there. So she's been doing that since I've known her 25 years now. So uh, yeah, when you're married to an Indonesian and you're in America and her family's in Indonesia, that's what they do, man. They're all about being with their family. I forgot what I was going to say though, but yeah, I don't know what the time difference is from Australia and Indonesia. But Indonesia got like 5,000 different islands out there, so they probably have a different time zone for each island. You sound like my brother. Why do I sound like your brother? Does your brother speak Indonesian? My wife tried to teach me Indonesian, and then when she learned it, I could pick it up so quick. She stopped teaching me and started speaking a different dialect. My wife knows 2 different dialects. What I mean by dialects is there's so many different Indonesian languages because there's so many different islands. So just because you know how to speak Indonesian on one island and then you go to another island, you can't communicate with the people over there because the dialect is different. So it's kind of like I would say in Australia, if you live on the west coast of Australia and you go over to the east coast of Australia, you guys' language is like a little bit different. Am I right, Jasmine? You guys have a different lingo over there. You guys got them drop bears over where you're at in Sydney, Jasmine? When I used to do motor vlogging, I used to do live streaming hangouts with motor vloggers in Australia, and they used to tell me these stories about drop bears all the time. I know they were just messing with me, but yeah, they try to get me, man. You come down to Australia, man, be careful of the drop bears. And trying to pull one over on the tourists. It's only a myth. Yeah, you're surprised I know about drop bears, huh? Yeah, man. For years I used to do these live streamings 3 times a week on my motovlog channel and twice a week on my main channel. So I was always live streaming, but the time of night that I was doing live streaming here where I live, it was morning over there in Australia. So I was live streaming with Australian people a lot, picking up the lingo and stuff like that. It's fun because you meet people all over the world. Yeah, my fiance speaks Simalugan too, the language of her village, I believe. Yeah. When you say village, it's funny because it's like in tribe also, right? It's just that means another town. That's all it means. They call you Bule over there? It's funny because I've talked about this before on my YouTube. I got a playlist of things I did in Indonesia where I show what I did while I was in Indonesia, and I talk about my experiences in Indonesia. And my wife, because I got some new people here, my wife's Indonesian, and my wife's cousin, he's passed away now, but when we lived there, he was alive, and he was a very famous radio personality in Indonesia. And when we were building my house in Manado, Indonesia, because he lived in Manado, and all the guys that worked for me, I had 15 guys working for me, and they met him in person and everything, found out he was a radio personality. They would listen to his, like, it's a talk radio show, kind of like what is the guy here in America, famous, what is this? Man, I can't even think of his name. He's on American Idol, that one radio DJ guy. Anyways, I forget what his name. Anyways, he was pretty famous in Indonesia, her cousin. And we would listen to his talk radio show. And by the time I lived in Manado, I could speak Indonesian fluently. I can get around. I understand perfectly and everything. And so I would call the radio station. And the first time I called the radio station, he didn't have his cell phone turned off, and it started ringing on the radio. And when he looked and he saw it was me, he put me on the air and started doing the phone interview with me on the radio. You know, this is the Boule up at the Blue House Cost. And a couple of days later, after I did that interview, he came and visited me when he got off the air. He came and visited me while I was building my house. I built a 2-story cost, which in Indonesia means like a 2-story rooms for rent building, like a bed and breakfast. But I built a 2-layer building, 21 rooms, 13 bathrooms, something like that. I think it was. I don't remember exactly. Go watch my video and you'll see. I explain it and show how I built it and everything. He would come and hang out with me up at the Blues House Cost, and he told me that show that we did, where I did that phone interview, was the highest rated show that he's had in the last year. And he asked me, "You think you could call in every day?" You know, because it was boosting his radio show, man. He was making it more popular because he was talking with a foreigner from America, you know. And my Indonesian, I wouldn't say fluent, but my Indonesian, they could understand me, but the way I pronounced things made them laugh, especially because I knew all the bad words too. And whenever I would say a bad word, he had to beat me, right? But I knew he was trying to beat me, so I would try to, because there's like a 15-second in between every time he buzzed me to where you wouldn't hear the bad word over the radio station. And I had fun with that, man, because I told him, "I got a potty mouth, dude, so you better have your finger on that button, because, you know, I let one rip, you know, you could get in trouble." So he was always sweating all the time. And he never turned his phone off. So every time I would call the radio station, and you would hear the phone ringing over the radio, and everybody knew that was me calling in. So it was kind of weird, kind of funny. And then one day I just showed up out of the blue. I showed up at the radio station, and I was making fun of him through the glass window and everything like that, trying to get him, because they would do commercials, so he would read commercials. You know, like, "Hey, so if you got stains in your clothes, you know, use Tide and rub it in, and it gets the blood out." You know, commercial like that, but not Tide. You know, whatever they had in Indonesia that was popular at the time. I thought it was really cool that you made your own brick business. Yeah, they called it Bule Batako. And the reason I did that is when I was building my house, because I lived in that building, when I'd order the bricks, they would just crumble. And I told my wife, "I am not building this house with this crap brick. I can make a better brick." And she's like, I had to beg her, man. I had to beg her to buy me that tool to make the bricks by hand. We mixed all the, you know, the mortar and the sand. And this wasn't just any sand. This was like a sand dirt mixture. And if you really want to know what I'm talking about, you have to go to my YouTube channel, my playlist, and just watch the video where it's called Bootleg Batako. It just, because I show pictures, I show everything step by step how we did everything, and I ended up making the brick 100 times better than the bricks that they were bringing to me to build my building. You could drop it from 10 feet up in the air, just let it go, boom, it hit the ground, it would not crack. Because what I did is I mixed in waterproofing with the concrete. So it not only made it stronger, but it made it waterproof because it rained so much. When you use an Indonesian brick in Indonesia, when it rains, the water seeps through and comes into the house. That's why a lot of homes you see in Indonesia aren't painted, because it just ruins the paint. So you see a lot of just brick that looks like adobe. And I told my wife, "I'm not building this with this crap, man. I can make a better brick." And I finally convinced her. And not only did I make a better brick, but once the word got out that I was making a super strong brick, I had a list a mile long, people waiting in line to buy bricks from me. Brick, I had a list a mile long, people waiting in line to buy bricks from me. I couldn't finish I was building a wall around my property, and I was about 3/4 of the way done. I never finished the wall to go around my property because I was too busy trying to build my house and make the bricks for the people who were ordering. I mean, they didn't care if they had to wait a month before they got their order. That was blowing my mind, because I couldn't work in that country because when we went there originally to go there, my wife's father was fighting colon cancer, and we didn't know until we got there that her mother had liver cancer. They both were dying, so I only went over there with a tourist visa. So every 30 days I had to leave the country. That's why I've been to Singapore so many times, because Singapore, 30-minute flight. Jump on the plane, fly to Singapore, in a whole other country in 30 minutes. Sometimes I'd go there. I had to wait 24 hours, though. I had to wait 24 hours before I could come back. So the first time I would go there, 24 hours, I'd get back on a plane and come right back. But in that 24 hours, I never slept. I didn't even I didn't have a hotel. I just stayed up. The city was awake, so I just went around the city, man. Learned the city. And then when I figured out how to get around the city and use the subways and stuff like that, I just told my wife, hey, next month, I want to stay longer. I want to stay 2 to 3 days because I really want to go do some exploring. I want to get out there and do some suburban hiking. So the funny story is my wife's cheap. She likes to rub 2 pennies together and make a dime, right? So what she would do is, and my wife's got a weird sense of humor. She sent me up in the cheapest freaking hotel. Now, when my wife goes to Singapore, she only stays in 5-star hotels. When she sent me to Singapore, she sent me like $6 a night red light district area. And when I would leave the hotel or motel or little room for rent, I'd have to walk down the dark alley that had a blinking, the hotel or motel or little room for rent. I'd have to walk down the dark alley that had a blinking red light, and it was all prostitute area, man, the red light district. And you were like, oh, that's not too bad. It is, because it's all lady boys. It's all men dressed like women. And they want to touch you as you walk by. Ooh, ooh, hey, G.I. Joe, hey, Boulay. And the thing is, they look identical to a woman. You can't even tell it's a man, And then when I came back later that night, and the guy at the hotel front desk told me, he's like, hey, be careful, man. Because I heard those, the banshees, they call them banshees. I heard the banshees out there talking to you. Those are men. He told me those are men. And this guy spoke perfect English. He went to America First College, and then came back, and he's running that hotel. He's like, those are men, so be careful. Those aren't women, And I told him, I said, you know what? I'm glad you told me that, but I'm not looking for a prostitute, but I'm glad you did, because, man, you can't tell, dude. You can't, man. They got boobs and everything, man. They wear these, but they're men. And then when I told my wife, I found out what she did. She laughed so hard, she's like crying. She thought that was so funny. And it's a long alley, man. It's a good freaking 60 yards I had to walk down to get through till I could get up to go to the subway. Go out and get something to eat. And it's narrow. It's like 4-foot alley wide, and they're all standing in a row there, and they all have the same color dress on. It's like, I don't know. That's all the imagination of pimp had or whatever. However they do those things. But yeah, to this day, if my wife hears me telling the story, she still laughs just as hard as she did when she sent me there. She thought that was so funny. But when she went with the kids, when I had to come back to the States to sell our house, because we had a house in Florida, she went up there with the kids to the Universal Studios in Singapore, took the kids up there. They stayed in the freaking 5-star hotel, man. And she's sending me pictures at the swimming pool. Looks like a never-ending swimming pool that goes over the wall and stuff like that. I'm living in a freaking room. Didn't even have a toilet, man. You had to share the toilet, and it's not even a toilet. It's what they call a squatter, man. It's just ceramic with a hole in the center on the floor, and no toilet paper. That's one thing I gotta warn everybody. If you're gonna go to Indonesia, take you some wet wipes with your toilet paper because they don't use toilet paper. They have a little hose that they spray their backside with or the front side of women, and a bar of soap, and you wash yourself right there on the squatter. And I was like, hey, no way I'm using a squatter. I'm going to go out, get on the subway, head to a hotel somewhere where tourists go, and go to the bathroom to where they have normal toilets and toilet paper, you know? And tell me I'm wrong, John, if you experienced this yourself when you was in Indonesia. And I guarantee you this, John, when you go to your girlfriend's town or village, you call it a village, ain't nobody got normal toilets there. Nuh-uh. You're lucky if you even got a bathroom. They might just have a little wall to where everybody in that village, oh, he's taking a dump over there because your head's sticking up over this little wall and there's a squatter there, man. One thing I asked my wife is, how do they go to the bathroom when they got the Hershey squirts? Because, man, that would get all over your legs and stuff. How do you guys deal with that kind of stuff? And that's the one thing I hated about Indonesia. That if you try to go anywhere in a village and use their bathroom, and the mosquitoes, oh my God, the mosquitoes are crazy, man. The hotels I stayed at have toilets and toilet paper, but yeah, the Merit and other places have squatters. Yeah, no, I guarantee you, John, you went to your girlfriend's village. There's a squatter there, man. There ain't no toilets over there, brother. Ain't no toilets, man. She's living out in the jungle with the freaking coconut trees everywhere. Did you climb a coconut tree, John? I tried. I couldn't do it. But I had a guy who worked for me, man. He'd go up like a monkey so fast, man. And then slide down so fast, too. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's an experience that I wouldn't change for the world, man. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying, yeah, you get a rude awakening when you go to Asia, man. And I've been to several areas. I've been to Singapore the most. I've been to Philippines the second most. I spent some time in Korea. I almost went to Malaysia once. But Philippines, now the Philippines is a nice thing too. But let me tell you a story about the Philippines. When I went to the Philippines, they don't mess around with drug traffickers, man. When you land in the Philippines, you land in like a 1977 airplane, and it lands on the runway. You go down the steps, you walk across the tarmac, you get to a glass door, you go through it, and it's a long hallway. And as you're walking down the long hallway, there's signs, banners hanging everywhere saying they hang drug traffickers. And they got these cameras pointing, there's TVs everywhere, and these cameras are x-raying you, and you can see everybody's naked. You got clothes on, but you can see through everybody's clothes. They can see everything in your pockets. You see your junk hanging there, the women's boobs. You see everything. There's no secrets, man. And you go to freaking Philippines, and then you walk down the long hallway, and there's no bathrooms. When you get off the plane and you get in that hallway, there ain't no bathrooms until you get through the checkpoint. They stamp your passport, you go through, then there's bathrooms. And they got people standing there with their M16s there at the visa checkpoint, stuff like that. Man, I tell you what, the very first time I ever went to the Philippines scared the heck out of me, man, because I didn't know what I was going to experience because I was alone. My wife wasn't with me. She'd send me off, and she would send me with very little money, because she don't want me to get mugged or something like that and lose all my money. And it's an experience, man. It is definitely an experience. I mean, I've been to Mexico many times. I've never had that kind of experience in Mexico. Just walk across the border, no problem. Come back, no problem. But if I had to complain about anything, I would say the mosquitoes are the worst things ever. Being in Indonesia, especially I'm diabetic, man. I got that sweet blood. Boy, I bet I was getting eaten. Here's what I had to do to sleep. Once I realized that there was a mosquito problem, I had to go out and get one of those mosquito nets that surround the bed. And I would not let anybody unzip that mosquito net. So what I would do is I had a bug zapper in front of the bed I slept in. I would turn that bug zapper on 10 minutes before I went to bed, and then I would run, unzip the zipper, and jump in really quick, and put the zipper behind me because I didn't want mosquitoes. And I would wake up in the morning, have to take a leak, and there'd be mosquitoes just on the freaking mosquito net. There'd be like 6 or 7 of them, and they're freaking huge, man. Some of them big as my hand. And my wife could just lay in the bed with just blankets, never get bit by a mosquito. I could not understand that at all, man. And then when we finally built our own house, and we lived in our own house, and I ran the air conditioning 24/7, air conditioning in every freaking room. If you want to know what my house, I built a house. First, we moved to Jakarta. We lived in a little town east of Jakarta. It's probably a 30-minute drive from the city. And it's out in the country because my wife's parents lived out in the country. I built a house out there. It's in a place called Jedi Bening. I built my first house out there, and I put a water heater there. I put a washer and dryer. I put air conditionings in every room. And what the air conditionings they sell over there is those split units. The compressors outside, and then you got the little air conditioning inside. And I ran those AC units 24/7. I built a beautiful house out there, man. My wife's parents had some property they couldn't sell, and my wife inherited one of the lots. And her father had built these 2 townhouses on the lots across from our house. And when her parents passed away, the job was with my wife was to sell all the property and those 2 townhouses. And when she inherited that property, I didn't want to live with her brother anymore because I couldn't sleep in that house. Too many ghosts. And so after we built our house, I told my wife I could sell those townhouses, man, because I know how to do it. Because as I was building my house in Jedi Bening, I got so many people coming over and watching us build a house. Because word travels faster than the internet in a village. There's a bule building a house over here that doesn't look anything like an Indonesian house anywhere in that freaking town or that village. Nowhere. Because all you got everywhere in the country are like mud houses with tin roofs, dirt floors. And I was building a 5-bedroom house, beautiful house. And I have videos on my playlist that you can go watch the step-by-step process of me designing and building this home, because I refused to live in a mud house, but my wife's parents, they had a huge house and swimming pool, everything, man, because her father, he loved everything in America. Everything her father owned said made in America, made in USA, and he would not buy anything made in Asia or Indonesia or anything. He would throw it in the garbage. I found that out because when they came to America to come to the wedding, I play a lot of golf. I've been playing golf my whole life, and her dad was a professional golfer, right? So I wanted to take him out and play golf before we got married. The future son-in-law, get to know the father, right? So I wanted to go take him to the driving range and warm up. So I went into the golf shop, and I said, "Hey, listen, I'm trying to impress my future father-in-law, man. I need the best golf glove that you have. I paid $35 for this golf glove, right?" He's out there on the driving range stretching, get ready to hit a couple balls before we go play 18 holes. And he didn't have a glove, so I went and bought him this glove, and I brought it to him. And my wife was sitting there, and I handed it to him. He looked at it, said some stuff in Indonesian, pissed off, and loud. Everybody in the driving range heard him. Threw it right into the garbage, and started walking towards the car, told my wife to take him home. And my wife was like, "What did you say to my dad?" Because I'm trying to learn Indonesian. I said, I didn't say anything. I gave him this golf club so he have a glove that would do hitting driving range balls. So she went and got the glove out of the trash can, and then she's like, "Oh, that's what happened." I said, "What happened?" "That's the best golf glove you could buy. I wouldn't even buy this glove for myself, $35. No way. I'd buy freaking Kmart for $7.99, for FootJoy. It's the name brand, right?" And she's like, "Open it up. Where's it made?" It says made in Indonesia, Inspector 12. And my wife's like, That's probably his freaking cousin that made that glove. He doesn't wear anything in Indonesia. You should have bought him something made in America. I'm like, they don't have anything in the golf shop made in America. Everything's freaking made in Asia, Malaysia, or Mexico. And he was pissed. He didn't talk to me for a week after that. I was shocked that we even got married. Because I mean, he was just pissed, man. And I was working on the golf course. I was building golf courses then. So he probably was thinking that I could have got the best, which I did. I got the best glove, but no, pissed him off, man. So the moral of that story is you know, don't give your father-in-law cheap shit, John. You marry your girlfriend. Don't give her dad anything made in freaking Indonesia. Make sure it says made in America. Here, and another funny story is when our daughter was born, my wife and I's first daughter, the first thing I did to send a picture to her mother and her father, this was the internet was just getting started. It was just new. I went to the Walmart and I got a bunch of stuff called liquid paint, right? And my daughter, I got a T-shirt, and I wrote out on the T-shirt "Made in USA," and then I used that liquid paint, which it expands like, and it looks like bubble letters. And I put it on my daughter, and I took a picture of it, and I sent it to her father. I said, "Here's your first American granddaughter, made in USA." And I cracked up. I told my wife, "That shit's funny. I don't care who you are, man. If your dad don't like her now, because it don't say made in Indonesia, it says made in USA." Her mom laughed because her mom, when my wife was pregnant, her mom came to the States the last month that my wife was pregnant to help my wife have her first baby. And her mother was actually the first person to see it before I sent the photos to her husband, my father-in-law. So she was cracking up laughing because her mother spoke a little English. I was told he would like a collection of American money so he could show his friends. Yeah. When I was in Indonesia, all of my wife's nephews, they wanted American money, and I gave them a bunch of ones, and told them it was $100. And they had no clue. They didn't know it was only $1. But yeah, they loved American money, but American money's worthless now. It ain't worth anything, man. It's garbage. Fiat money made of paper. Maybe you want to come say hello? You want to come say hello? I'm talking to John. John and Christina. The Boule. The young guy. We were just talking about him yesterday. My wife's getting old. She don't remember. Come say hi to her. I was telling the story about your dad got pissed off with the golf club.
Hi, John.
The Boule. Yeah, because you're Boule now, man.
Where is he?
And he's in Ohio. You are Boule for life. Yeah, his girlfriend's named Christina. He said hello back. Hello back. She said hello back. She's in the kitchen making something to eat. Or looking for a snack or something. You haven't ate dinner? What were you eating on the couch when you were watching your Christmas movie? My wife was watching a Christmas movie. I don't even know how she found a Christmas movie. I come home from hiking 5 hours out in the desert and she's watching Christmas. They're playing Christmas music, singing Christmas songs. I thought I time traveled or something. I was like, why are you watching Christmas movie? It didn't make any sense to me. So when she gets her visa, John, and she comes to the United States, are you guys going to stay in Ohio? Does she like cold weather? You guys discussed this, what your guys' plans are? My fiance called me. Hold on a minute. My fiance called me Bapak because the shirts I bought in Indonesia are an older style shirt. You mean Batik? Batik shirt. Yeah, I got a couple of those Batik shirts. Right? What's Bakpak? You know? You can read this. Bakpak. His girlfriend calls him Bakpak. Mister. It means Mister. Because he's got them older style shirts that the older men wear there. Old men, yeah. Bakpak. Bakpak. I have a Batik shirt. I got a couple of Batik shirts. They're made of silk. They're nice. They're nice. I love them, man. But it's too hot to wear them. I think I've only worn them a couple times to take family photos and stuff like that. Beautiful, beautiful shirts on this. Extremely expensive though. So, how long did you stay when you were in Indonesia? Where was the area you stayed again? I want to tell my wife. How do you say it, babe? Simalunga? Gun? Simalung? Right here. His girlfriend, his fiance speaks Simalugan. Right here. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
No, I don't know.
My wife doesn't know that. Simalugan. That's in Indonesia. That's that island that's close to Indonesia. You're a truck driver, you're over the road. Are you going to take her with you when you go on the road? My wife's never heard of that dialect. Two weeks in 2019 and 4 weeks in 2022. Can you take her with you if you go on the road? Can she go on the road with you? It's going to be kind of strange if she comes all the way to America and you're gone all the time. She ain't going to like that. You know, because them Indonesian women, man, they speak their minds. He's a truck driver. He's going to on the road, babe. And he's going to bring his girlfriend to the States and then he's going to be on the road. She's, huh? You bring me all the way to America, and you're never home. You're never home. I thought you loved me. Saya cinta kamu. Bullshit. Can you say bullshit on the live streaming? I don't even know if you can say that. She'll be with me. I'm looking for a local position. John, man, I'm telling you, brother, you got to just work for yourself, man. Figure you out a business to where you're the boss and you make your own hours. You know? Send something over to where her family lives and then they can sell that stuff, man. Sell American stuff. Do like an export business or something. Sell some Jeep stuff. Because I know in Jakarta, man, my wife's brother, he's a Jeep fanatic, and everything Jeep in Jakarta sells like crazy, man. I don't care what it is. It could be a T-shirt that says Jeep on it, you know. And here's the problem: in Indonesia, everything is black market fake stuff. So to get something original in Indonesia, like an original Jeep belt buckle or hat or something like that, man, you could ask anything you want for it because it's an original. It's not fake. It's not black market stuff. Did they have a black market area when you went to your fiance's village? Because that's one thing, man, I loved when I was in Indonesia, man. I freaking go to I don't even know why I call it black market. It's in the freaking mall. And it's like 5-story mall and everybody's selling black market stuff. And it's not even black. It's the mall. It's the actual mall where people go buy clothes and stuff, TVs and cell phones and stuff. That's another crazy thing that we go to the mall and it'd be like 5-story mall and 3 of the stories, everybody's selling cell phone. Every store is a cell phone store. It's like, how does anybody make any kind of money? Everybody's selling cell phones. Either that or it's cell phone minutes, You know, you buy them prepaid minutes. No. You know what your fiance should do? John, this is just an idea. Yeah, because my wife cannot find Indonesian food anywhere here in Tucson, right? So she has to eat Indian food, you know, because it's the closest thing she can get to Indonesian food. And the Indonesian, they got to have their Indonesian food, man. I'm telling you that right now, John. I'm warning you. I don't care what your favorite meal is. You're going to eat Indonesian food, man. So what you should do is get your fiance a food cart, a food truck, and have her own mobile Indonesian restaurant. Yeah, my favorite food is soto midin. What is soto midin, babe? What is soto midin? She's looking at me like I'm speaking Chinese, John. She has no idea what soto midin is. Midan, soto midan. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing it right. I haven't spoken Indonesian in a while. Right there, my favorite food is soto.
Soto medan.
So see, you see how she says it? Soto medan. It's like chicken soup. Is she from Sumatra? My wife's asking. So here's the thing. I come in from the desert. I'm hiking for 5.5 hours out in the desert. I get home. My wife hands me a bowl of soup, hot soup. I just come in from 5.5 hours of 110-degree temperature. She hands me a bowl of hot soup. Here, it's a snack. And it was delicious, but it's like, who had somebody a bowl of hot soup after coming 5.5 hours of hiking in 110-degree heat? I just blew my mind. I didn't understand. Sumatra Utara. She's like, yeah. So, no, there's fiance. She's July 11th. She's going for her green card. I mean visa. Going for her visa. Better. You better have a lot of cows. Oh, I said. That's an old joke. That's an old joke. Man. I don't know if he gets it. Yeah. Mohana not worth 5 cows. It's a movie. Mohana's not worth 5 cows. I forget the name of this movie, but I'll give you a story about this movie. So it's like a Hawaiian girl, and this man, he has like 7 children. They're all daughters, and Mohana is the most beautiful. I mean, she's like a 10, right? But on this island, only the fat girls are worth any money because all the Hawaiian men only like fat women, right? And all this guy's daughters are like, oh, the guy, he gave his daughter away for 2 goats or 2 chickens, and that's like, oh, I got 2 chickens for this daughter. And then this foreigner comes from another island, and he sees this daughter, the youngest, right? And on this island, the currency is cows. That's the most. It's like gold, right? So when the guy came and saw his daughter, the skinny, most beautiful, the Instagram model type girl, he fell in love with her at first sight. So he asked the father, I want to marry your daughter. What do you want to marry your daughter? What do you want for your daughter? Like, what kind of currency do you want? And the father looked at his daughter and looked at the guy and said, Mohana is not worth anything. And in this guy's eyes, she's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. So he tells the guy, the father, I'll give you 5 cows. That's the highest currency, man. It's like giving somebody $10 million, right? This is a movie I saw. And the father looks at this guy like he lost his damn mind and said, Mohana's not worth 5 cows. So he doubles it and gives the guy 10 cows, and then all the sisters are jealous because he gave so many cows, the most money you could ever pay for somebody who, in everybody else's eyes, thought she was ugly. And I have no idea anything about the whole rest of the movie because it was in a foreign language, right? Did you watch the movie with me? No, that was a time in my life where I was only watching movies where you had to read the subtitles. And it was called Mohana something in some foreign language. It always stuck with me. Mohana's not worth 5 cows because the father, her own father, did not think that his own child was beautiful, right? But not only did this guy think that she's the most beautiful thing he ever seen, he was going to pay 10 times more than what anybody thought she was worth. So he gave her 10 cows, man. And then the whole island found out that, what? Mohana's getting 10 cows? Everybody thought this guy lost his damn mind, man. But to that guy, money was no object because she was the most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his life. And he was from another island. It was a weird movie. I don't even know if people can find that movie nowadays. Because I watch a lot of weird, funny foreign movies. Another movie I watched was an Australian movie. I can't even remember the name of this movie, but the one thing that they said from the beginning movie to the end of the movie was, tell him he's crazy. You know, and then the next scene or next shot, like, let me give for example, like, you got to picture an Australian accent, a son talking to the father, and they live at the end of an airport where the airports take off. They don't want to sell their property. They refuse. And there's things being built up all around them. They got these planes landing and taking off, right? So the son is reading in the newspaper one Sunday morning. He's like, Pop! However they call it, Australians call their father, I can't remember, I think it's like Pop or something like that. He's like, This guy got a bathtub for $25. Should I ring him? And the father would come from like the bathroom or something. And he's like, yeah, ring him and tell him he's crazy. And then the next thing you see, they got the bathtub in the house. And that's the whole movie was like that. Every time they were like, yeah, tell him he's crazy. He got a bicycle pop. He wants whatever quid, like 20 quid for. Tell him he's crazy. And next thing you know, he got the bike in the house. It was a weird, funny movie. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, the funny part is that they couldn't say anything. They had to wait till the plane freaking took off and the whole freaking house would be shaking and stuff would be falling off the freaking table. And they're like, yeah, what? What? They're yelling at each other because they couldn't hear each other. Yeah, it's a weird movie, man. It was back in the day when there used to be Blockbuster, and I would go to the Blockbuster and I would go to the foreign section, and I want to watch movies in the foreign language, and I would just read it. I'd come home and my wife would be like, "What did you read today?" I said, "I don't know, man, but the cover picture looks interesting." And then she's like, "It's not even in English? Are you kidding me? Oh, we gotta read it." You know, we watched a French movie one time. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm weird, man. Subtitle, yeah, you gotta read it. You know, I can't get into my wife would get mad. I can't get into the movie because I gotta read what the heck is going on. Why do you read this kind of stuff? And then she'd be sitting next to me watching it. It's so funny, man. Back, remember those days, babe? We would stay up to, you know, because running on the Indonesian time, we'd stay up watching the stupid Food Network, watching food stuff, and then we end up in the grocery store, the 24-hour grocery store, buying crap to cook what we just watched on TV. That's one thing you gotta get used to, John. Indonesian women love eating food, man. I don't know how they don't get fat, because when I was in Indonesia, we would go to bed. My wife and I and the kids would go to bed. Okay, babe, let's go to bed. Now we go to bed late, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning in Indonesian time. Next thing I know, the light would come on. My wife would be getting up because her cousin showed up. 3 o'clock in the morning with food. And I would tell my wife, "Are you kidding me? You going out to the living room to go eat? We just ate not too long ago." You know, oh my gosh, she brought this food. It's from this village. We got to eat it. And that's 3.5 years. That's what I dealt with living over there. Yeah, the food is good. Yeah, I have Indonesian food every day. My wife cooks Indonesian food every day, John. Every day. Every day. Sometimes she'll cook 2 different meals in one day and keep it on the stove for a week, and we'll just eat the same thing for a week. You know. And I used to work in a restaurant. I tell my wife, you can't leave food out like this. You'll get sick. 25 years later doing it, I'm still eating it, man. You know, it's different. In Indonesia, they'll cook food and it'll be there for a couple of days on the kitchen table or the dining room table, and they cover it with those little plastic meshes. Did you experience that, John, when you're there? They covered the food with the plastic meshes, and then you look that up, you grab what you want to eat, and it's like a buffet in the home. Tim Pack. My wife's laughing. You're gonna make her hungry, John. Yeah, anything spicy. My wife makes her own Indonesian chili. Anything spicy, she will eat, and the hotter the better for me. It has to be so hot that I start crying for it to be spicy for me because I've been eating spicy food for so long. Yeah, and if you're a bule and you're not used to eating spicy food, well, don't date an Indonesian woman. If you like Asian women and you want to date an Asian woman, go Chinese. Because the Koreans, the Indonesians, the Malaysians, what other Asians are there out there? They all love spicy food. Chinese, Vietnamese. Oh my, they like thermonuclear, freaking spicy food. Chinese like spicy food, but not as spicy as like, yeah, Japanese. Japanese like sour stuff, man. Yeah, they like raw stuff. Yeah, they like to eat raw seafood, sushi and stuff like that. Yeah, but the Philippines, Malaysians, any Indonesian island, they all love spicy food. The hotter, the better. This is for anybody who might be listening to this live stream later, and you're thinking about, oh, I want to date an Asian woman. Well, be careful what type of Asian woman you pick, because I'm telling you, man, you better have deep pockets too, because I've dated other women, and American women, they'll order a salad and eat 1 or 2 bites of a salad. Indonesian woman will take you to a buffet in the morning for breakfast, and you'll be there for the dinner routine. They just stay in the buffet. They just eat all day long, man. It's crazy. My wife and I, we took her uncle came to visit. We went for breakfast. We were there for the lunch where they switch over for lunch menu, and they started switching over for dinner menu. That's how long we were in this buffet. The whole freaking day. They didn't kick us out. Because it says all you can eat. Her uncle says, it says all you can eat, so why do we have to leave? And we didn't. He wanted to stay. We stayed all day because they saw they were serving steak. Right, babe? She's like, yeah. What, are you going to go take a nap now? She's laying on the couch, getting cozy over there. Crossword mystery. That's a TV show? Is it a game show? It's a murder. My wife's telling me she's watching this series called Crossroad what? Crossword mystery. She's watching it on her phone. I plan on moving to Indonesia in the future. Oh, okay. Yeah. I loved it when we lived there. I didn't want to come back. My wife wanted to come back. Because, I don't know what it's like now. Man, we've been gone a long time. But You can live like a king in Indonesia, man. Seriously, you can live like a king. Hey, you want to know something, John? I'll give you an idea. I was watching these YouTube videos where this Indonesian woman went to Los Angeles, right? And the guy in Los Angeles, he was working construction when he met this girl, but he loves street tacos, right? So when he went to Indonesia with his, at the time, his girlfriend, when he was in Indonesia, he couldn't find anybody who made tacos, street tacos in Indonesia. I forget what island it was on. And he was jonesing. He was like me. I couldn't find bacon anywhere. He was jonesing for street tacos. So fast forward a couple of years, they get married. They're back in the States. Something happens to this girl's family, and she has to go back to Indonesia, and he goes with her. So what he does when he goes to Indonesia, because it's so easy to start a business in Indonesia, he started a street food taco restaurant. He rented out a little little building, and he only served steak tacos. And his business blew up because Indonesians never had street tacos before. So he brought something that he craved and couldn't get in Indonesia, made a business out of it, and blew up. His company just blew up, man. He was selling out street tacos like crazy because Indonesian people, they throw their chili on it. And then his wife made Indonesian chili also, so they would put it on the table with the street tacos. And he only had one thing. He didn't have a menu. He just had one item, street tacos. And I forget how much he would sell them for, but you go in and you buy like 4 at a time, and then his wife, made the chili, and they would have it on the table there, and the business blew up, man. He made more money living in Indonesia, eating a food that he loved and couldn't get in Indonesia, and now, he's making a good living selling street tacos. So just an idea for you, if you want to go to live in. I'm not telling you to sell street tacos. I'm just saying this guy turned the business into something he loved eating. Maybe if I come across Tucson, Arizona, I'll let you know. Yeah, man, let me know. Don't let me know like 2:00 in the morning, though. Hey, I'm gonna be in Tucson because I'll be asleep. I'll tell you just like I tell everybody else. I go to bed late. I'm 12:30. I go to bed. I don't roll out of bed till 7 in the morning. I got no reason. There's no reason I have to get up except to go take my dog to the dog park first thing in the morning. So, and he knows it. He stands there looking out the door waiting for me. I may wake up at 6 or 6:15, and I'll lay in the bed till 7:00. I do not wake up with an alarm clock, or I'll go back to sleep and wake up at 7:15, 7:30. So people always, when I turn my phone on, when I come in the house, I turn my phone off. It's like a machine gun of messages going off because people messaging me, texting me, DM me, because I don't turn my phone. My phone is off and not anywhere near where I sleep. So if you come through Tucson and you're only going to be here for a few hours and it's before 7, you'll never get in contact with me. Ever. Because I don't, I'm at the age where I don't have to get up at a certain time. I don't answer to alarm clock. I hate alarm clocks. The alarm clock is the worst invention ever. People are like, oh, you can set it to music. You can wait on it. I don't care. The alarm clock is the worst invention ever. Because what does the alarm clock do when it goes off? What's the first thing that happens to you when the alarm clock goes off? Whether it's a beeping, a buzzing, your favorite song, it puts you in a bad mood instantly. So now your day is already ruined before you even started. Because alarm clocks just put you in a bad mood. So I've never used an alarm clock. I don't ever plan on using an alarm clock. My wife stays off. Sometimes she'll come over. She'll wake me up, say, "Hey, get up. You want to eat?" She don't even do that anymore because I don't eat breakfast. I fast every day. I eat dinner anywhere between 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I don't eat again until noon the next day. So yeah, no reason to have to wake up till alarm clock. That's just some information. John, you're a young guy. My son is 20 years old. I give him the same information. You know, try to give him some elderly advice. He used to work for Taco Bell, and one of our clients, my wife's clients, asked if he would pet sit her dog, on his days off. And then he learned he can make more money pet sitting than he could make in a month working for Taco Bell. And I told him, I'm like, son, because the reason he didn't want to quit Taco Bell at first, because he's like, well, Dad, I know how much I make every 2 weeks, and then they take taxes out, and I know, at the end of the year when I do my taxes, I'll get this much. I said, son, you're stuck in that corporate loop, man. You be your own boss, you pay your own taxes, and the more stuff that you paid for your business, you write it off so you don't have to pay taxes. And you make your own hours and you charge your own price, because all you're doing is making the owner of Taco Bell rich. You're never going to get rich working for anybody. Never. You'll never be happy working for anybody. So this is the advice I gave to my son, because I've had all my, when I was in Florida, I was building golf courses. Because at the time, the reason I was working at a golf course at the time, I wanted to own my own driving range, because I've been playing golf my whole life. And in Florida, they had this little, what they call a links golf course. It's 9 holes. It's a driving range on one side, and then you got 9 holes, which are all par 3. If you don't know what par 3 is, if you don't know any golf lingo, par 3 is, it should take you 3 hits to get your ball into the cup on the green. If you do more than 3 hits, then it's a par 4, par 5, par 6, whatever like that. But the goal is to par the whole course, which is 27 par, right? So what I would do when I was first dating my wife, I had my own business. When it was slow, I had a 24-hour business 7 days a week. I would go to the driving range at night, and I would hit golf balls. You can get 100 golf balls for like $5. And then I would walk the par 3 golf course, and I loved it. I was there every freaking day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day I would go there in between slow times of my business. And my dream was to own my own golf course, my own par 3. It's called an executive golf course, where I had a driving range and I had a par 3 where I could walk it. So I didn't have to pay for golf carts, because golf carts aren't allowed on a par 3 golf course. But, after learning what it takes, the money that you need to build a golf course, an 18-hole golf course costs about $1 million a year to run. And that's to maintain the grounds, the greens, the fairways, the sand bunkers, the lakes, the irrigation, all of the, what do you call that stuff that you spread for flowers, the manure, not manure, but it's called something else. It skips me. It's $1 million. All right. So I'm like, man, that's not even counting paying for the employees to maintain that. That's another $500,000 to maintain an 18-hole golf course. Now, granted, it might be more than that now, but this was back in 1995 when I had this dream, right? So it's been a long time, so it's probably even more than that now. And what I had learned by building the golf course is I would need to have 27 acres of property to where I could build a par 3 golf course. And the money, it was just like, man, I'm never going to come up with that kind of money, man, because I'm going to need a couple $1 million to get my dream going. But it will pay itself back, because, in Arizona, no, because it's too hot. Nobody plays golf here. But anywhere on the East Coast where people love to play golf, no matter what the weather is, you're making money back just for the driving range balls. If I want to go hit driving range balls here, it costs $12 for a bucket of 20 balls. That's expensive, man. And it's 110 degree heat, so nobody's hitting balls, man. So I kind of changed after 3 years of building golf courses. I figured out, well, I ain't got that kind of money. Maybe if I hit the lottery, I'll do it. But then if I hit the lottery, then I don't need to build a golf course. I'm already rich. I hit the lottery. So you have to be careful watching dogs. I've heard of stories of pet sitters getting attacked. Yeah, no, all my clients who have dogs, my son, he's been doing it for a while now. What he does also when he's pet sitting right now, he's house sitting and pet sitting because these people are like they go on vacation and they're gone for 30 days, so it makes good money. And in between, when he's not house sitting and pet sitting, he has a job working with dogs where he sets up the arena, agility arena. You know, you ever see that on TV where the dogs run through the zigzag and go through the tunnels and over the teeter-totter and the bridge and all that? He does that when he's not house sitting and pet sitting. He sets up that whole gymnasium thing. And then in between the shows, when people, their dogs do the show, when it's not their turn, he's walking the dog. So he's making money on the side while making money. And I told him that's what he needs to do. And he loves doing that now because now he knows exactly how much money he's going to make. And it's easy. He's not doing anything. He loves being with dogs, you know. So I'm not telling you to be a pet walker, pet sitter. I'm just telling you, man. You know, you got to go out there and find something that you love to do, especially when you're young. I told my son came up to me and said, Dad, how do you know Mama was the right girl? I said, well, first of all, you don't need to be worrying about a girl right now, son. What you need to do is start working as hard as you can and as many different type jobs as you can and make as much money so when you get to my age, you don't have to have an alarm clock to get up. You know, you don't answer anybody by the time you're my age, and then you can enjoy your elderly years, you know. Working at 6 days a week job, 9 to 5, 50, 60 hours a week, making somebody else rich, you know, putting your life on the line. Some jobs people have, it's just, you know, you're making somebody else's dream successful, you know. Just like I tell my son, I tell all my kids this, you know, especially right now, they live at home. You know, my daughter's 22, my son's 20. They got no bills. They got nothing to stress over their head. Make that money while you can, while you have a free place to live, you know. So when you ready to buy a house, then you worry about looking for a wife, man. You don't want to get the wife and the kids first, and then you're struggling 2 jobs. You're never home. Your kids never see you. You know, that's no way to live life, man, for anybody, man. That's my advice to anybody who's listening or has kids, you know. You'll never get rich or be happy. That's my advice to anybody who's listening or has kids, you know. You'll never get rich or be happy working for somebody. Never. My wife has her own business, right? Been doing it 20-some years now. She makes her own hours, her own time. You know, if it was up to my wife, I would never see her. She would work 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. She already has it is work 7 days a week, but she only puts in 3, maybe 4 hours a day, you know, because that's how easy it is for her to make money doing what she does. I'm not going to say what she does because I don't need any competition. I don't need anybody coming to Tucson and trying to outbid her for what she does. She's her own boss, okay? 25 years her own boss. When she lived in Florida, I had my own business. I had a courier service business, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I delivered because I had over the road experience. I drove an 18-wheeler, and then I had 5 years of courier business working for myself, independent contractor. I started a business with a guy. He put up the $50,000. I turned that $50,000 in a year and a half to $1.5 million. So, and what that was a courier business, kind of like a Federal Express. UPS, you know, but it was a different type, you know. I had to have insurance. I had to have all my employees were independent contractors. They worked for themselves. They made their own hours. That, you know, they paid their own insurance and stuff like that. But, you know, when I would charge for delivery, I would charge a certain amount of money, and my drivers would get 50%. I get 50% because I provided the delivery, and they got 50% because they did the delivery. And I had insurance to where if they got in a car accident or they lost the delivery, I had enough insurance to where I could cover for that mistake. So it was a very stressful job. I did it for 2 years. Not a job, but a business. I had a partner. And one thing I could say is never have a partner unless it's your wife. Okay? Because this guy, once I got it to be so successful, I got up into the six figures. He bought a yacht, he bought a brand new house with cash, and he was saying it's for the business and stuff like that. When the first time him and I had a disagreement, that's when he tried to come in and say, hey, you only got 49% and I got 51%. I have control over the business. So you have to do what I say you have to do. So that's when I backed out and said, I'm done. Because I knew he knew nothing about the business I made. And that it would go in the toilet, it would tank. And I walked away. I walked away from a huge friggin' salary. My ex-wife got everything. I gave her everything to get out of that marriage, man. And I walked away from that. So, and I don't have a college degree. I dropped out of high school in ninth grade. And I've always had my own business. So, I'm not saying I'm a rich guy. I'm just saying I'm comfortable. So, and that's my advice to anybody out there. Do something you love. Don't work for anybody. Don't turn that alarm clock on. You're an owner operator. Yeah, but do you own your own truck? All right. Do you have control of the deliveries you make? Or are you requiring them to give you a delivery? My brother-in-law, my sister's husband, he'd been in the trucking business for 45 years. He got out of it. He was an owner operator. He got out of it because they started to make changes and started controlling him. And he couldn't turn down deliveries anymore. They said, you either do this or we're going to blackball you. You won't get a delivery from any company. So he got pissed. He said, screw you. I'm done. I'm walking away. He walked away after 45 years. So I don't know what the owner-operator business is like now, but if you want to have a relationship with your girlfriend, you gotta either bring her with you or your fiance bring her with you, because leaving them at home, that sucks, man. I did it. I was gone, man. 9 months out of the year, I was gone. I hated it, man. You drive for a company in their truck, yeah. So if you piss them off, they'll take the truck away from you. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you what reality can happen. How old are you, John? How old are you? Are you like 22 or 23 or something like that? You got to be 21 or older to drive a truck. I know that. What's your age? How old are you now? I gotta get something to drink. These live streams are about anything and everything. If anybody's listening, 28. Okay, cool. So, if anybody's listening and they want to talk about something, and they got questions to ask about either my YouTube channel, Arizona, I have no set thing that I'm talking about. I'm just talking to John because I know John, and just trying to give some fatherly advice. I'm not his dad right now. I'm just trying to, what I tell my kids. My son is 20, my daughter's 22. My oldest daughter's 38. I got 3 grandchildren. I think one is like 17, one's 15, one's 12. They live in Florida. It's the same conversation I have with my oldest daughter in Florida. I told her to do the same thing, man. Work for yourself. Figure out something you like to do. And don't think, I'm going to make a business and I'm becoming a millionaire the first time I tried this. Because no, that won't happen, man. If anything, you'll fail. And everybody that's successful in business fails, because that's how you become successful. You have to fail at something and learn what made you fail, and then you don't do it, and you do something else and become successful. Or like I like to say, comfortable. You become comfortable to where you don't have to answer to somebody. We own our own house. We don't have a mortgage. We own all our cars. We don't have car payment. So. We got 2 fully grown kids that, live here rent free. They don't pay rent. I don't blame them. I wouldn't leave either because they got everything. They got mom and daddy washing the clothes. They got a refrigerator full of food. They got internet, cable, cell phones. So why is the stream called What a Crazy Day? What happened? Yeah, what happened is I went out hiking with a guy today. His name is Mick. And the plan was, I told my wife when I left, yeah, I'm just going to go out and take him to show him some petroglyphs, and I'll be back in an hour or two. The hour to most, I told her. And she looked at me, she's like, you know how many times I've heard you say that? Well, that hour turned into, by the time I got home, 6 hours had gone by, and I don't know exactly how many miles we hiked, but we went everywhere. I mean, we went to like 5 different locations, and each location we hiked a mile or two. We climbed steep cliffs. We climbed. I had cactus in my thigh, my hand. I fell down so many times. Uh, I found things on trails that I've hiked for 10 plus years and never knew that the things were out there. I got pictures and videos that I'll be posting over the next couple of weeks because of so much new stuff that I found. Now, if you're new to new stuff that I found, now, if you're new to my channel, you have no idea what I'm talking about. You know, I spent a lot of time in the Arizona desert. I like to teach people about the Arizona desert and the cool things you can find in the Arizona desert: petroglyphs, Crestedsaguaros, Hohokam Indian stuff, you know, ancient stuff that I find out in the desert. And the day didn't go to plan. I mean, when I met the guy, he thought we were just going to go to one spot and look at one or two petroglyphs that he saw on my Instagram, my Facebook, and he really wanted to get some pictures of this stuff. And I blew his mind before we even went and see these petroglyphs. I went and showed him several Crestedsaguaros. You know, I took him to saw not just any. I mean, some. You see this logo thing I got there? I see got the truth. I took him and showed him a huge Crestedsaguaro like that one, but without the little arms growing out of the top of the head. You know, and I showed him like 4 different huge Crestedsaguaros, and you know, I taught him some stuff how to survive in the desert that just blew his mind. That he didn't know that if you did this, this would save you from dying in the desert. You know, simply just stopping, finding some shade, sitting in the shade, taking your hat off so your head can, you know, the heat can leave your head, removing your shoes and your socks, carrying wet wipes with you and wiping down your legs because you do so much walking. You wipe your legs, your calf muscles with some cold wet wipes, you know, and that let your calf muscles relax so you don't spaz out. Teaching them what to drink in the desert because people think, oh, I'll just take water. You'll die. Okay, if you just take water in the desert, especially hike at summer times, you will die, or you will fall down in the middle of a 10-mile hike, cramping so bad that you can't stand up. You know, the secret to surviving in the Arizona desert is you have to have electrolytes. And you can't just drink any water. You know, I've been doing this my whole life, and I have never once ever passed out in the desert. And I wanted to prove to him you don't need to bring 2 gallons of water. I mean, he brought several liters of water with him. And I said, that's too much, dude. What you're doing, you're carrying all that weight on your back. You're making yourself more tired. And then you drink all this water, and then, you know, you pee it all out. What you got to do is, before you start any hike, is if you get a bottle of a buy, the size like this right here. I'm going to go back. This is distilled water with sea salt in there, right? This is a buy. This is like 12-ounce bottle right here, okay? If you get a bottle of distilled water, and the reason why I say distilled water, because there's no impurities in distilled water. There's no fluoride, there's no heavy metals, there's no inorganic crap. When you get a bottle of water and it says, oh, it's got all the minerals in it, that's a lie. It's heavy metal. That's not what your body is designed to drink. It's all crap. It's all labeling to get you to drink poison, okay? You get you some distilled water, and you make your own electrolytes. You either put Zip Fizz in it like I drink all the time, or if you don't have Zip Fizz, you get a squeeze of lime in there or lemon. You get you some Celtic sea salt. And it's very important that you use Celtic sea salt. And the reason is, if you get the pink Himalaya sea salt, It has heavy metals in the Himalayan pink sea salt because they mined it using explosions. And if you don't believe me, you can go on YouTube. This lady got pulled off to the side in the airport because she tested positive for C4 explosions. And they searched her whole suitcase, everything, and they found this little bottle of sea salt that she took everywhere with her, right? And the sea salt tested positive for explosives. It's because they mine the salt with explosives. Now, the reason you use Celtic sea salt because it's mined by hand. I'm going to sleep. Have a good night, everyone. Bye back. We'll see you later, John. So you get that little pinch of sea salt. You put it in your distilled water. That right there is electrolytes. You add the lemon or lime juice, whatever you want to do. Make sure it's an organic lemon or lime. Put that in your distilled water with sea salt. Shake it up. Let it dissolve. There you go. You got your natural organic electrolytes. The body, your muscles don't need protein. That's crap, man. Don't drink them protein drinks, man. You'll have a freaking leg cramp or a calf cramp out in the desert, and you'll be crying because it'll be so freaking hard it'll make you cry. No, your muscles are raised by potassium. I mean, they need potassium, right? You need 4,700 milligrams of potassium a day. Nobody gets that. Not even me. It's impossible to get that much potassium a day. You need magnesium. You need vitamin K, vitamin B12. You need all this stuff for your muscles. You don't need protein. My son goes to the gym all the time. He's like, Dad, I'm going to try out this protein drink. No, your body gym all the time. He's like, Dad, I'm going to try out this protein drink. No, your body doesn't know what to do with the protein shakes because it's all inorganic, all right? You just get fat. It bloats you, makes you fat because you don't need protein. You need electrolytes. The body is a human organic battery. And the reason people get tired because they don't have the electrolytes, the minerals that their body needs. I mean, I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm just speaking from experience of hiking my whole life in the desert at 110-degree temperatures. I have 2 bottles of water. One bottle of water, like I told you, mixed with the minerals and stuff like that. And I carry 2 bottles of Bai with me. That's all I had today. An apple, a tangerine, and a piece of pumpkin pie. And I wish the guy I was hiking with was here. He could tell you. And he had several liters of bottle, man, and fruit and stuff like that. And not one time ever did I slow down or ever get tired because I'm giving my body what it wants. If you give it the correct water, your organs will absorb it immediately. And the reason you put the Celtic salt into your distilled water is because your body has all these cells in it, okay? They open and close constantly all day long. As long as you're breathing and talking and walking, your cells are multiplying and talking to each other, and they're closing and opening, and they're absorbing. And when you put sugar in your body, which causes, that C word, I don't want to say it, what happens is your cells close off because now they're trying to warn the rest of the body, hey, don't absorb this because it's going to make you sick. But when you put the Celtic sea salt, that has a code in it to tell your cells to open up and to accept the water, and it will absorb the water in. You will stay hydrated, you won't get cramps, and you won't get headaches, and you won't get any signs of heat stroke, is if you put the right fluids in it. Now, the reason why I drink Bai is because I'm diabetic, and it has less than 1% sugar. Less, you can't even taste the sugar. What it has in it is erythritol. Now, the Bai is vegan, it's kosher, it's organic, okay? It has potassium and magnesium and other minerals in it also. That gives me energy. So I drink the water, the electrolytes. Before I do any hike, I will drink 1 full bottle right there to give my body all the water that my body's going to need for that day of hiking, right? And I'm teaching this to the guy I hiked with today. I'm leading by example. He had all these liters of water. I wish he was here. He could tell you guys, yeah, I'm speaking the truth. And I only had these 3 little bottles here I took with me the whole day. I didn't die. I got home. And matter of fact, when I got home, I was more energized than when I started my day this morning. So, those are just things I like to teach people about the desert that want to go hang with me and go hiking. And a lot of people, I would say 99% of the people that have gone hiking with me just shut down and they cannot take another step. And you don't have to be in Arizona to live like this or drink what I just said. You can be anywhere in the world and do this. And another thing, because I'm diabetic, I only eat twice a day. I don't eat breakfast. I eat dinner 4:30, 5 o'clock. I don't eat another thing the rest of the night until noon the next day. Then I'll have my lunch. If I'm at home, I will have 3 to 4 eggs, grass-fed organic eggs, and bacon every day. I've been eating this for the last 9 years since I've been diagnosed with diabetes. And bell pepper, red bell pepper. Why red bell pepper? Because red bell pepper has more vitamin C than an orange. Everything I'm saying, don't believe what I'm saying. Go Google it yourself and find out. Now, vitamin C, bell pepper has minerals in it. I can't name them off because I don't remember. But it has all the minerals and vitamins in the bell pepper to make your collagen in your face and your gum. Vitamins in the bell pepper to make your collagen in your face and your gums. If you got receding gums or bleeding gums, suck on the bell peppers. Suck that juice and it'll take the pain away. It will reverse the receding gums. If you got a toothache, if you got your jaws hurting, go get you some sesame seed oil. Organic. Everything take organically because your body's an organic battery. Swish the sesame seed oil around in your mouth, 5-10 minutes, however long you can handle it. Swallow it. It will fix any kind of toothache pain in your mouth and any cold sores in your mouth. They will heal it because it's got antibiotics in it. So I was telling my son this, right? Because he's like, I'm going to take these proteins because that's how the bodybuilders. No, it's not, man. That's all lies, man. They get this big guy who's pumped on steroids, take pictures and tell him to promote this thing because they're going to pay him $1 million. And he's going to push that onto everybody. It's just lies, You go out to a farm, all right? These farmers, if you go to an organic farmer, he's not giving these cows and horses protein drinks. What are they eating? They're eating hay and oats and stuff like that. Anything green they give to the cows. They let them eat grass and stuff. Why? Because the grass has chlorophyll in it, and the chlorophyll is the blood of the plant. Just like it's almost identical to the blood of a human. So the more green vegetable you eat, the healthier your blood is, the healthier you'll be, and the more energetic you'll be, and you'll start growing muscles because you're feeding your muscles those fibers, those fast twitch fibers. You're feeding your muscles exactly what your body needs. Now, I'm speaking from experience because I used to be 289 pounds. I was fat, man. You can go watch my old videos from 10 years ago. You look at my shadow. I was a fat dude, man. And I was doing keto before I even knew what keto was. I was fasting before I even knew what fasting was. You don't have to go on a strict diet to lose weight and have energy. It's a lie. Everything that says diet is going to fail. Everything that says sugar-free is poison. It's bad for you. The secret is you want to get rid of the sugar and the carbohydrates. Cut back, have a low-carb diet, high-fat diet. Have a lot of fat in your food when you eat it. That's why everything in the store is fat-free now and sugar-free, because they've taken everything out that your body needs out, and then people are getting sick, and they're getting fat, and they're failing on their diets. You don't need a diet, man. All you got to do is, even if you don't want to do keto, say I'm not going to do what they have a thing called OMAD, which means 1 meal a day. That's where the really, really serious keto people do. I don't do that. I did it for a couple months. I lost so much weight. My wife didn't like it. I got all the way down to 155 pounds. She did not like that at all. She likes me a little stocky, right? So I had to up my carbs. The fastest way to lose weight, safest, fastest way, without dieting, I'm proof. My son is proof. You can go on my Instagram. You can see before pictures of my son. He was almost 300 pounds. He's 155 pounds now. Looks fit as a fiddle, man. Is even if you don't want to do keto, you're like, screw that, I'm not doing keto. I heard all kinds of bad things about keto. I'm not trying to push keto. Say you love pizza, because I love pizza, right? So instead of ordering a large deep dish pizza, because a lot of stuff you put on pizza is keto. People don't know it, okay? Is instead of, if you want to cut out eating pizza, instead of ordering a large pizza, 2 large pizzas like I used to do and eat a whole pizza to myself, is order a small pizza and order thin crust. Don't put the tomato sauce on it. Have them put olive oil or what's that green stuff, babe? Am I saying pesto? And then put green stuff, babe. Am I saying pesto? And then put all the meats: the beef, the pork, the pepperoni. Put the onions, the jalapenos, the bell pepper. That stuff's all keto. If you're on a keto diet, that's the stuff you can eat. And that stuff doesn't have sugar in it. And that stuff's all low carb. All that stuff is the good carbs, the fiber carbs. And you eat a smaller pizza. Now, say you like eating Subway. Well, instead of going to Subway, get your own, cook your own steaks and chicken and do your own slices, because that processed food you get in the Subways or Walmart meat counters, that stuff's bad for you. That stuff made me have 2 strokes before I learned how to eat right. Make your own processed meat where you pre-cook it, you cut it into thin slices, and instead of getting that big old freaking workout mat thick bread, go out and find you some other kind of healthier bread. Go shop at the bread. Go to like a bakery and ask them what's their healthiest bread, and just completely change bread. Bread is bad for you anyways, but try to find the healthiest bread. Try to find the healthiest bread. Say you don't have the money to go out and do that kind of stuff. What you do is you go down the bread aisles. Man, some grocery stores got bread aisle on both sides of the aisle, all the way down, both sides. Start learning to read labels. Start looking at the labels. Okay, this has 60 carbs. Well, find one that has 30 carbs and less sugar. This got 26 grams of sugar per slice of bread. And instead of making a triple stack sandwich or making 2 thick sandwiches, make 1 thick sandwich. Just slowly start weaning yourself off this stuff to where you're not eating as much anymore. And man, you'll drop weight so fast it'll blow your mind, man. And it's not even doing keto. Now, if you want to really be serious about it, you want to do keto. You want to do fasting. Now, a lot of people I've talked to says, no, I can't fast, man. I can't go without eating that many hours. Well, every morning when you eat in the morning, what are you doing? You're breaking your fast, right? It's called fast. You're breaking your fast. Because every night, everybody sleeps, whether you get 5 hours sleep, whether you get 5 hours sleep or 8 hours sleep, you're fasting, right? So what you want to do to lose weight, I sleep like a baby, is you start eating dinner early, because you never want to go to bed after you eat. A lot of people eat 9, 10 o'clock and then go to bed 11. No, you want to have your dinner 3 hours before you go to bed, so your body has a time to digest that food. So say today I ate at 4:30, right? And I won't eat again until tomorrow. So from 4:30 to 12 o'clock in the afternoon when I eat lunch, all that is fasting, right? If you can fast 16 hours or more, what you do is you force your body to burn the fat as energy, and then you don't feel hungry because you're burning the fat that you have on your body and you're losing weight, and you're not dieting, you're not exercising, you're just cutting out a meal out of your day. Instead of eating 3 meals a day, you're eating 2 meals a day. So you're fasting. So now by the time you eat at lunch, you can eat whatever you want. I mean, you don't want to eat crap. You don't want to go to Dunkin' Donuts to get 12 dozen donuts, cream-filled donuts, because now you just wasted all that fasting that you burned. You're just doing that. So what you do, you want to eat as healthy as you can. Not everybody wants to eat a salad. I don't blame you. If you go to McDonald's, the salad at McDonald's has got more sugar in it than the freaking milkshake. So you start buying your own vegetables and just get a blender, blend it up or chop it up. I like all my stuff chunky, so just chop it up, and then you make your own salad dressing. Because if you read the labels on the salad dressings that people put on their salad, it's like 60 grams of sugar. And that it doesn't matter how much you exercise in the gym, you eat that much sweet sugar in a salad dressing, you just killed a week's workout at the gym. One whole week that you went to the gym. Like, I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. Because it's easier to put weight on than it is to get weight off. It's easier to sit on the couch and watch 4 hours of football and down 2 bags of Doritos and drink a 6-pack of Coke or a 12-pack of beer and not even think twice about it. Your body can only burn so much sugar in one day. That's why if you read labels, everything got sugar in it. You know what blows my mind? I had somebody tell me that's vegan told me I only eat honey. I don't use sugar. I don't use processed sugar or anything in a package. I put honey. I said, what kind of honey do you use? They sent me a picture. I said, I went into the store. I looked at the honey. There was 26 grams of sugar in that honey. And I told the person, who puts sugar in honey? If you go get natural honey from the bees, a beekeeper, it's still got that wax in the jar. There's no sugar in that honey at all. That's 100% natural, and that's sweeter than if you go buy it at the grocery store. That's not even sugar. They got food coloring in that to make it look golden. It's all trickery, man. So you don't have to diet. What I'm trying to say is all you have to do is educate yourself on how to read the labels. Say you never want to diet. You don't care about, going to the gym or anything like that. Just start reading the labels. And if you're not going to give up eating bread, find a loaf of bread in the store that has the less amount of sugar and the less amount of carbs. And it's not going to be white bread. I'll tell you that right now. White bread is bad for you, man. Terrible. So if you got to eat bread, even just change it to the bread that has the lowest carbs and sugar, you're going to lose weight just right there, because instead of, eating those 2 sandwiches with the 10 times the amount of sugar and carbs, even though you're still eating bread, you're going to lose weight because you cut out all that extra carbs and that extra sugar. That's how you lose weight, and that's how you become successful, and that's how you keep it off, because you're still giving your body what you think it needs. But, when you get to an age like me, and my blood sugar and blood pressure they couldn't even read it, was so high, and the doctor told me straight to my face, he was surprised I was even standing up talking to him. I should have had a heart attack already. And it took 30 days for me to have a stroke and almost dying to make me snap out of it. I was drinking 5 Starbucks sweet teas a day, plus 2 or 3 Thai teas, which is like 60 grams of sugar in one little 6-ounce bottle of Thai tea. Man, I was a walking tomb. I was just looking for a place to die, and I made those changes, So when, people ask me how I go out in the desert and I hike for 6 hours in 110-degree heat, I tell them my secret, and a lot of people don't want to hear it or believe it, but, hey, man, I'm just telling you what I do. And if you want to learn how to go on a 20-mile hike in the middle of the desert and not fall over from a heat stroke, well, this is what you got to drink, and this is how you got to do it. That's my free advice out there. I'm not trying to be some guru where I tell you to come to my website and watch a fucking 30-minute video and pay, charge you $160 to 59-year-old man who survived 2 strokes because I didn't think what people were telling me what I need to do was right until 2 strokes woke me up. That's how you not die. You got to change your eating habit, and it doesn't matter. I can talk to them blue in the face until the individual who's listening to this wants it. You're never going to change. You have to want it. Something drastic is going to have to happen to you, to where you're like, okay, I'm ready to change my life, because I'm looking in the mirror, and these 27 different diets and 10 different gurus I'm listening on the interwebs, I'm not getting any changes. that means that you're going to have to think outside of the box and try something totally crazy. People are like, oh, you're crazy. You're doing that high fat, low carb, no sugar diet. You're going to die. Well, you're almost dying doing what you're now. You know, you're 300 pounds. You know, can't fit in that prom dress or prom suit. You know, you know. I forget what person said it, that the sign of craziness is, or insanity is, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. Like you smash your finger with the hammer, but you keep smashing your finger with the hammer, but you don't want to change what you're doing. But you think you're going to have a different outcome. You know, maybe you got to switch hands, and then you won't smash your finger anymore. Is what I'm trying to say, man. And you have to say no, man. I got to have breakfast. I got to have my coffee in the morning. Well, you can cut out lunch. Don't eat lunch. Fast from the morning that you have your breakfast, your whatever, your bagel with cream cheese, whatever, and don't eat again until dinner time. But make sure that dinner time gives you enough time, but between the time you eat dinner and the time you go to bed, you want to have the minimum 3 hours go by before you ever go to sleep. I sleep like a baby. I don't get up and cough to death and can't breathe. I got a CPAP because I can't. I sound like Darth Vader, man. I have beautiful sleep, man. Well, I don't sleep like a baby because a baby up half the night crying and crapping in his diaper. I sleep good, man. I have very, very good sleep because I give my body what I need. I give it the potassium, the magnesium, the iron, the iodine. You got to have iodine. Yeah, your body needs iodine, man. Yeah, your thyroid needs iodine. Go out and get you some organic iodine. And don't listen to me, man. Go Google everything I say. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here trying to tell everybody I'm a doctor. I'm just telling you what works for me and what I've learned over the last 9 years. I've lost all the weight. I maintain it. My son, he's lost all the weight. He maintains it. And you know what? He loves eating pizza. But, he's got a weird eating schedule too where he's actually fasting without even fasting. So that's my advice to anybody who wants to lose weight. Just here's the best advice I can do. This is what I did. So what you do is, okay, say you think I'm crazy, you don't want to try this, but something you heard kind of makes sense. So here's what you do. You get you a notepad, get you a legal pad and a pen or a pencil, whatever you like to write with. And you document everything you eat, everything you drink. You document how you slept that night, what time of day you ate, what time of day you drank, everything. I don't care if it's like, oh, I'm getting a glass of water. Write it down in that legal pad, what time of day you drink that glass of water, what type of water, sink water, bottled water, Perrier, whatever. Write everything down. Next to whatever you eat and drink, you write down how many calories are in it, how many carbs are in it, how much sugar is in it, what or if there's any type of vitamins in it or any type of minerals. Write it down. Now, if you're serious, you'll do this. If you don't want to go through that, then just don't listen to what I'm saying. Do that for a week. And at the end of the week, write down on the very last day how you look, how you feel. And then write down how you want to look and how you want to feel. Because words are magic. Words are powerful, right? That's why they call it spelling, because every time you speak, you're casting spells, and every time you're writing it down, you're writing spells. So now you take that week. Now you take what I say and you try it. You try it for 1 week. If you don't like it after 1 week, then you don't do it. Say you want to eat a sandwich. Say you eat 2 sandwiches a day. Turkey sandwich with cheese and bacon, tomatoes, lettuce, whatever, however you make a sandwich, right? Go to the store and buy the bread with the less amount of sugars, less carbs, and all that, like I said earlier. Eat your 2 sandwiches with whatever you like. But all the ingredients are going to have less sugar and less carbs. You're still eating what you like to eat. Still document everything. Weigh yourself. The first week, weigh yourself. The second week, when you try what I say to do, cut back on the carbs and the sugar and the calories and everything, and write all that down and document it. And then at the end of that week, write down how you felt and how you look. And then you're going to get your answer just by making them small changes right there. Wow, this guy was telling the truth. Even though I didn't do keto and didn't fast, I just changed the amount of sugar I put in my body and the amount of carbs I put in my body, but I'm still eating the same kind of food I'm eating, still drinking the same kind of drinks I'm drinking. And right there, most people won't believe anything till they see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears. Say, wow. And I did that for myself. And then I realized, because I'm a car guy, I only run the best gas in my car. Your car runs better when you run the best gas. You put the terrible gas, your car runs terrible, right? Your body's the same thing. It's a machine. It's an organic machine. You ever heard that saying, you are what you eat? Well, if you put garbage in your body, you're going to feel like garbage. And you're going to expect that you think you're going to sleep good when you're high on sugar, and you got 12 cups of coffee and you can't wake up. That's why. Because you're not giving your body, which is it's a well-designed piece of machinery, man. It needs the best ingredients to run at optimum levels. And that's my advice to anybody's listening to this now or might listen to it down the road. This is how you maintain a healthy lifestyle with unlimited energy. I have so much energy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the amount of energy that I have every day does not affect my sleeping. Because my I've already programmed my body how I want it to run by putting the liquids and the food in it that my body needs and going to absorb. You don't need 8 glasses of water a day. That's a lie. If you switch over to distilled water, you're going to find yourself hardly ever drinking water because your organs, all the organs in your body, because your body's mostly water, are going to be happy and satisfied. It's going to be like if you give somebody who loves donuts and they eat 10 donuts and they fall asleep with a smile on their face. Their body was craving sugar, so they gave their body sugar and then they passed out. That's why every year when somebody has Thanksgiving, I don't care who you are, anybody who has Thanksgiving, they got some aunt or uncle somewhere passed out on the couch because they had, 5 slices of pie and all this high carb food. Your body don't know what to do, so it shuts down. It makes you fall asleep. It puts you to sleep. It doesn't give you energy, man. And then you got the kids running around the house bouncing off the walls because there's so much sugar in these Thanksgiving meals. Just learn to read the labels and cut back, and you'll have unlimited energy, and you'll feel better. You'll look better. You'll drop weight without even trying. You don't need a gym membership. Absolutely nothing but wear your shoes out. That's all it does. Wear your shoes out and empty your wallet because you're trying to look like the Joneses wearing the Lululemons and the Michael Jordan tennis shoes or whatever. Everybody's dressing for everybody in the gym and nobody's getting any weight loss because you're too busy trying to look the part, but you're not doing the right things to feel the part. That's what's so funny. That's why I crack up, man. When I drive by a gym and I see all these people, they're wearing these leotards that they got their love handles hanging over the side and they think they look hot. I'm not trying to match people who are overweight or out of shape. I was there. That's why I can speak from experience. I'm telling you, man, what you got to do to lose this weight and get unlimited energy. I'm an energizer bunny. And I wish that the guy I hiked with today could be here on this live stream with me and tell you guys, what I say is legit, man. Only on, you know what? He's not on this, I don't want to say diet, but for lack of a better word, diet routine. He's fresh out of the water. He's from England. He's new to Arizona. He's not adjusted to the heat, but I have to give him props 100%. A lot of respect that he was able to hang in there with me. He's got a lot of experience hiking and everything. And just like what I'm telling everybody here, I told him, and he's slowly making the change. This is not going to happen overnight. I don't care who's listening. You're not going to go from being overweight to Victoria's Secret model in 30 days. I don't care how much crap you see on the internet. It's not going to happen. What you put in is what you're going to get out. And I'm leading by example. I took this guy out and I pushed him. I pushed him and I pushed him. Even though one time I looked at him, it looked like he was going to pass out. I told him what to do to cool himself down and to get his energy to come back up. And he did it, and he was shocked that in such a little amount of time he went to where he was ready to lay down, take a nap to. We went and hiked another 2-3 miles, uphill. So, I know by trial and error what works and what doesn't work. And mad respect to him that he pushed himself. And just like I was saying earlier, I can talk to him, live in my face, but until whoever's listening, you're ready, you want it, nothing anybody says. I don't care how many diets and how many gym memberships, how many gurus you follow, until you're ready, until you're sick and tired of looking in the mirror and saying, why can't I lose weight and have unlimited energy? Until you hit that rock bottom or have a stroke like I did and almost freaking died, almost went into a coma, that wake-up call. Nothing anybody says, no book, no video, no website, and there's nothing out there. All they're doing is feeding you crap for your goals that are never going to happen because it's just all fluff crap out there. You got to want it before any of this stuff is going to happen. So that's what crazy day happened today. I can't wait to talk to this guy again because I told him the last thing I told him before I left. I told him, I said, listen, I know you're tired. You look tired. You look beat, buddy. I really tried to kill you out here in the desert today. Literally, I pushed him to limits where I could see in his face that he had to dig down and get this energy from him. He's probably like, where am I getting this energy from? I told him, I said, listen, go home. I offered him first to go buy him a nice cold drink. He said no. He said he had cold drink in his Jeep. I said, go home, take a shower, take a cold shower, get dressed, sit down on your couch, and then get your phone and look at everything that we did today, because he took pictures of everything, things that he saw, places we went, and then just absorb that and understand what you did today. 110-degree heat, middle of nowhere, you didn't die, but you saw some awesome stuff today. We had a crazy, awesome day today, man. And man, the enjoyment I get when I take somebody out like that and they can hang with me, because I have yet to this day find anybody that can hang with me. And this guy is the first guy. And he told me a funny thing today. He said he doesn't really do social media stuff. I mean, he has Instagram, Facebook, but he'll post pictures and that's it. He don't reply back to people. He doesn't want to get famous or anything like that. He said to me, we were talking as we were hiking up this cliff, this hill. I asked him, how did you find my social media? Because I couldn't remember how I met him, because we had been talking for a long time before we actually met in person. And he said, oh, Instagram. And I said, oh, because I'm thinking, I'm remembering you from Facebook. And he's like, well, maybe it was Facebook. And he said, I usually don't reach out to people on social media because I really don't care. But you had a picture of a petroglyph of a peptite. I don't know. I might be destroying how you say it. And I really wanted to know where that was. So I figured if I reach out to you, maybe or maybe not, you would tell me. Because when people reach out to him, he said, I don't tell people where things are at. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. And he said, another weird thing is I've never, ever in my life, he's 63 years old, ever in my life I've ever reached out to anybody on the social media and actually met up with them in person, not knowing who they are, what they look like, or anything. And we've done 3 hikes together now. And I was like, I started laughing because I'm like, yeah, that is kind of crazy, man. But I've met a lot of people through social media. But that was, and he's like, you're my first social media interaction I've ever done, and you're the only person I ever met through social media from the internet. And he's like, that's something I never thought I would hear myself saying. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. So that's what crazy thing happened today is this guy went outside of the box how he normally acts or what it did. And I told him, and because you did meet me, the experiences you've had with me in these three different heights, one was a short, then medium, and then today was a really long one. He's pushed himself more than he normally would, but he was able to experience things he's never seen in his life in the desert before. I enjoy is to see his face. It was so smiling and sparkling, and I could really tell that he was really genuine, and he really enjoyed our time together today. And to me, that's worth more than anything. Because that was a blast. That was a blast. I had a blast today. Uh, Showing somebody new, and even though I've been going these trails for forever, he was finding things that I never knew was out there, and he was showing me things, and he was blowing my mind because he was finding some cool stuff that I never ever thought I would ever find. Uh, so I think I'm going to end that live stream. It's funny because I even told my wife I'm not going to do a live. I'm looking, it's like almost 3 hour live stream, babe. I just wanted to test out this my son's webcam here. So to everybody who came to hang out with me and talked with me in the side chat there, to John and let me go back here and read. Colin, I remember he was the first guy. He lives in Tucson. To Wendy, Joanne, Jasmine from Australia, KM. I think she also lives in Tucson. John, once again. Yeah, thanks to everybody who came and chit chat with me in the side chat. I appreciate it. I said I was going to do live streams on Sunday, and I was only going to do a short, quick one. I still don't know how to screen share. Didn't even learn that. But yeah, thanks to everybody for hanging out. And next week, next Sunday, I think 6 o'clock is good, man. I'll don't hold me on this because I may be out hiking, fall down, and break my leg. But don't want to say that. But so next Sunday, look at my channel, man. Maybe I'll start it up again at 6 o'clock. Tater Chip, thanks for an awesome live. Well, where were you, Tater Chip? How come you didn't join and chit chat with me? I would have talked to you too, Tater Chip. Yeah, so now I got to figure out how to end this stream. And I've had people ask me before, are you going to keep these streams up? Yeah, I'll keep them up. It's who? You talking to me? I thought my wife was talking to me. So, between now and next week, I'm going to try to figure out how I can screen share so I can show you some of the things that I took pictures of. So, thanks to everybody for hanging out. Hold on, my wife's interrupting me. What? Huh? What? Wave what? You're waving. I don't know what you're saying. Oh. All right, so my wife's got to have a FaceTime with my son, so I'm going to end the video here. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Oh, where's the invite, man? Be kind to people, man. Remember, if Lord willing, the creek's will rise. I'll see you guys next Sunday, 6 o'clock. Thanks for watching. I'm gone. See ya. I got it.